Okay, hello everybody, welcome to the stream. I see it's already busy with the chatting. Nix, I'm going, as you requested. Missed, thinking of selling you cards to buy games on the 3DS that are for sale. Okay. To everyone who's curious, that is possible. Let me turn this on, hold on. That is possible, just be aware that it's technically against the terms and conditions. So don't let DevCat catch you doing it. Come. Trying to turn the thing on, and for some reason it's not working. Got the code right? No, I do not. Because it's changed Wi-Fi. Never mind. Silence you Clockwork Neon? Unfortunately not. I only have the one. Why are you looking for it? There we go. That should work. There we go. Aha! Success. And we're up. Whew. Alright. That took longer than it should have. We have technically two internet connections in the house, so if the PC and the phone aren't connected to the same one, it causes problems. Dark Betrayal for $50. I remember those days. Hello, Pegasus. Welcome to the stream. I hope you have interesting decks for us to see today during the sub-battles. I hope everybody has interesting decks. Before we begin, standard caveats apply. Internet connection in Scotland is not the best in the world, so if we crash, which is a possibility, I'll be down for like 30 seconds to 1 minute, but I will be back. Don't worry about it. You want to make more interesting decks, Neon? Good stuff. That's what I like to hear. Galliamir, welcome to the stream. Nice to have you. Did I hear the news of the guy who got the SIH card twice in the same pack? No, I hadn't heard that, actually. Was that... Where was that? On the Discord? Because I have not been paying attention. I'm completely occupied with Mass Effect and Tokiden Kiwami 2. Iyashan. Okay, thank you, Kitan. Thanks for that. Oh, Pegasus, thank you for the gems. I appreciate it. What do I use to get phone games on the computer, Loot Goblin? I stream from my phone using a Screen Stream Mirror app, and I feed it through OBS Studio. Yes, hello, Kitan. All right, so let's jump in. So before we get into all the sub-battles and stuff, no giving down. Before we get into the sub-battles, and yes, I will set up the rules for that, we will just quickly, well, perhaps quickly, perhaps not quickly, we will look at Euripide, the new SIH card, which is quite interesting. So there she/he is, Euripide technically being the male Greek philosopher. This being, I don't know what, maybe his muse? I also, thinking about the sub-battles, did manage to get a whiteboard. With some of my old Miffy magnets from Japan. So I can actually we can do this sub-battle thing properly this time with an actual rota. All right, and yes, no getting battles. We'll get into the rules of the sub-battle once we're done with this. So Euripide, the trap card. Yeah, I still can't believe someone got 2 of that card in a single pack. Yeah, that's I mean, there's a 6% chance to pull it in each pack, and each card calculates the number individually because you can get duplicates. So you have 5-6% chances in every booster pack. It's not beyond the realms of possibility. So hey, if you didn't miss anything, don't worry, we've only just started. And I'm fine, thank you. Very organized, George. Yes, I am. Thank you for noticing. I had this. I think it's from my teaching days. I'm not sure. Anyway, so Euripide, have you tried it? What do you think of it? Let me know in the chat. You got a new SIH card in your first pack, Elrian. Nice, very nice. Like it. Rule 34. I'm not going to do Rule 34 Euripide. That would be horrifying. Rule 34, old Greek philosophers. No. Besides which, you know that it's just going to pop back with, you know, one of the philosophers' names is Hobbes, and I really don't want to to link into Calvin and Hobbes Rule 34. That would be horrifying. You got him, her, it with your third booster, but didn't get Sophocles at all. Ah, that's a shame, Vicon. I like them both. Neither one of them is going to set the meta on fire, but they're both good cards. Euripides and Sophocles are good cards, as in they are usable cards. You want to see someone pull 6 Dark Betrayals in a single super booster pack. Yeah, that would be what? Because it's 5 cards and one would have to be the booster, so you'd need to have the extra booster pack card as well. Is this game like Magic? Magic the Gathering? No, it's not. It's a card game, it's a trading card game, but it's not like Magic the Gathering. There's no card draw, there's no land cards, there's no like instant spells or anything like that. The meta is a lot simpler with Mabinogi Duel because there's no randomization to it. So it's much more of a mathematical game in a lot of ways. Hello, High Roller / Infamous 2, before you remind us. Yes, hello. So has anybody, literally anybody in the chat actually tried Euripides yet? Regardless of whether you like her or not. Neon, good for funsies, not metamaterial. Yep, I agree. Fun to play with the Wanderer cards, Vicon? Yes, I've been trying her out with Wanderer Sarah, Light Wanderer Sarah, and the Cat Merchant Hero, and that's a lot of fun. You've got Super has a chance for boost. No, I said that. I said you get 5 cards, and then the 6th is the bonus card, but you have the chance to get the bonus card, so you need to calculate like an extra randomized low chance on top of that. So yeah, that'd be like a 0.00001% chance. You think you and Neon tried her. What did you think of her, George? The consensus seems to be good for fun, not meta competitive, which, yeah, you can't get her high in PvP. She would be tricky. It's certainly not a card that you like build around. She's more of a useful utility support card for particular deck styles. Yes and no. For use, it can be easily countered. Yeah. Yeah, part of the problem is that she is 1 hit point away from meeting the HP breakpoints for Surprise Attack and Hunt, and that's really frustrating. Ow, the thing on my hand. So yeah, it's really frustrating. She's 1 hit point off. Nevertheless, as with all of the cards that don't meet the HP breakpoint, if you play them in hard control decks, they become more viable. Let's have duels using her. That would be nice. If anybody has any Euripides decks, that would be very good to play. Anybody with a Euripides deck will be placed, will be prioritized, shall we say, in the sub-battle brackets. Yeah, you have to play her at level 3 to pull off the combo in 1 turn, Vicon. You don't have to, but that makes it significantly easier, certainly. If you have like 2 Wanderer Sarahs out onto the field, you can play Euripides, immediately resurrect. Each Sarah will try to move across, and that will instantly drain Euripides down to 0 energy. So things like that, combinations of Wanderer cards and things like that will work. If you have a Wanderer Sarah and you pull an enemy's creature onto the side of your field and resurrect at level 2, then Wanderer Sarah will move, Euripides will cancel and drain the energy, then the betrayed card will attack, and then it will try to go back, and then Euripides will pull it and drain its energy. So it's possible to get Euripides down to 0 energy at level 2, but tricky. Euripides Hellgate, that would be weird. Turn to Frog captures, Ohib. You mean for countering Euripides? You can counter her with anything. Any 2-cost removal spell will kill her. Well, I look forward to seeing that video, Neon. It's hard to pull off Vicon. Yeah, it is. But, I mean, that's the thing with Euripides. It's a control card, so it is going to be difficult to use. It's like Sophocles. It's not, you know, Illurin or number 13 or something like this, where you can just throw the card out and it doesn't really matter when you do it, as long as you're being, you know, marginally intelligent about it. Euripides requires very tactical use, very precise, very clever use. Sub-battle snakes, yes, we will we'll get into that. I always have a conversation first 15 to 20 minutes to allow everybody to get in. If there's 2 Euripides on the field and the Wanderer effect is triggered, the Euripides that was placed second wins that Wanderer to their side. Really? I'm not honestly. That sounds weird. Honestly, you would think that Euripides' ability would activate before the creature actually moved, but no, bring it back. No, okay, so yeah, that would make sense. It would try to bring it back, and then it would be cancelled. So the second Euripides would cancel it. Yeah, yeah, that would work. Pal, come back. Yeah, the Wanderer Pal. I remember him. You have Euripides deck to go, Neon. Excellent. Good, good, good. You'll be up on the bracket. I'll get my little board. My little board is huge. It's bigger than I am. Really. Admire my Miffies. Pretty sure I got these. These were given to me by kindergartners. Anyway. All right. So let's see. All right, so we will start talking about we'll get into the sub-battles now. All right, so the rules for the sub-battles are no gimmick decks. And for the purposes of not irritating people that you fight against, pseudo gimmick decks are included. So no Dewar, no Light Elf Hero Triss +1. Nothing that's considered even borderline gimmick. That's the rule. The second rule is, doesn't matter if you win or lose, play fun, interesting, or just solid decks, anything that you enjoy playing, basically. And that's about it. The bonus rule for today is if you're running a Euripides deck, then you'll be prioritized in the brackets. I will put you higher so that you get to fight sooner and more often. Otherwise, yeah, just bring whatever you like. Zohaib, gimmick, yeah, gimmick decks. Nothing that is no Gates of Hell, for example. No Jurgen, no Dewar, no Wave of Life, no Theozenior, no Parnok. None of these decks that are impossible to counter unless you bring an anti-gimmick deck to the fight. Most people want to have skill-based battle, so make sure you're bringing a deck that requires skill to use. Yeah, no Fio, no Bolo, no Parnok, no Trap. Trap cards are fine. Yeah, no build around one card, yeah. No Chieftain +1. Yeah, Goblin Chieftain +1 is much weaker than Light Elf Hero Triss +1, but yeah. Sure, no Goblin Chieftain +1. I mean, nobody runs it anyway. So, yeah. No decks that require no skill. Yeah, that's basically the definition. So, gimmick deck is a deck that requires no real skill to use. You either, step 1, step 2, step 3, and you win, or the person manages to interrupt one of those steps and you lose. There's no skill to gimmick decks. It's just paint by numbers. Okay, so Neon's got a Euripides deck. Anybody else have a Euripides deck that they are willing to run? If so, I will put you up against Neon. You'll be the first fight. Otherwise, if you don't have a Euripides deck but still want to fight, put your in-game name in the chat. If you do have Euripides, mention Euripides somewhere in there. If you don't have Euripides, mention that you're running like a normal deck. They used to rush with him back in the days. Golden Chieftain +1, yeah, I remember that. Golden Chieftain +1, Feathers of Phoenix, Orperia -1, Nevia -1. Yeah, I think my very first thing is Rabbit still gimmick. Yeah, Rabbit is pseudo gimmick. He hasn't really been nerfed, so. You don't mind, but you don't like Euripides versus Euripides. That's what makes it fun. Do I know anything about the art in this game? Yeah. I do. Are there multiple people? I think I know one of the artists, actually. Are there multiple people that donate their art? Because it's noticeable. Yeah, there's a lot of different people that they don't donate their art. They are paid for it. But yes, there's a lot of different people contribute. It's like Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that. If you go into... Well, if you look at this, for example, if I bring up Euripides larger... You can't actually see it because it's cut off at the bottom of the screen, but I'll look at it. This particular... picture was illustrated by Seung Min Lee, whose name I'm almost certainly mispronouncing. Yeah. Okay, Yellow Dragon, you'll fight second with Euripides. Might want to change a few cards or two. Okay. All right, so George versus Neon. Don't go yet. I would quite like to actually have a number of people first. All right. So, Neon... I think my pen is leaking. Okay, that's nasty. Hold on. I don't have any tissues here anyway. I will use this eraser. It did not help. It's dry anyway. Can't believe I streamed now when I went. Yeah, oh yeah, that's the other thing. Britain moved its clocks forward 1 hour today, so from now on, anybody who didn't move their clock forward, the stream will be an hour earlier than normal. But that'll be for like the next 6 months. All right. New game. Everybody bet how many fingers I get covered in black ink by the end of the live stream. Winner gets a badge. Hello, Deadpool. Number 13 should be okay. Yeah, number 13 is fine. Yep, rip my fingers. This board has not worked out how I wanted it to. Okay, we'll try this again. So, it was Neon versus George was the first fight, Euripide fight. Europe. Okay. Cleanse it with arc juice. I don't want to make it stronger. All of them. When I accidentally touch my soul. What are you saying? Are you saying my soul looks like this? You're no longer my favorite, Deadpool. Get out! There's good news for you Filipinos, Enamata. Good, I'm glad. Yeah, it's going to work out really well for people who are in the sort of the far eastern side of the time zone, the global time zones. So it's going to work out really well for sort of Asian, Eurasian, and Australasian viewers. Okay, so Neon versus George. Yellow Dragon said he was willing to go second, so who wants to fight Yellow? Zohaib, yeah, you can fight. Everybody can fight. There's no rules here. Just literally, if you want to fight, just say that you want to fight, put your in-game name in there, and I will put you on the whiteboard bracket. Is it game already? Your stream seems lagging. Your stream shouldn't be lagging. I've got green across the board. You may want to refresh the page. Okay. You still love me, do you, Deadpool? Okay, well, you know. Zik, you want to fight? Okay. All right, so... Let's do Yellow versus Zik then. Who wants to go third? Zohaib, you want to fight? Okay, Zohaib wants to fight. Who wants to fight Zohaib? So far we've got Neon versus George is the first fight. Second fight is Yellow versus Zik. And then the third fight is Zohaib versus someone. Don't be shy. Jump on in. Okay. Yeah, you're not fighting yet, Neon. Don't fight yet. Wait until I say goat. Remember, goat is the code word, which I've adopted since last live stream. Somebody did that typo. Okay, nobody wants to challenge Zohaib right now. All right, we will save a slot then. All right. Put that down. Okay, I will open this up. Good lord, we have 4 things. Ah, that phone is hot. Oh, I wish this thing worked on thingies. Okay, Neon, Twilight, Zik, and Gallimir. Thank you so much for the gems. Peeps, I really do appreciate it. It's going to go towards cards, which go towards videos. All right, so nobody wants to challenge Zohaib just yet, so we'll come back to that. Neon and George, you guys can start fighting anytime. I will sit here and refresh the thingy. Trying not to get ink on my screen. Goat. Curious why there's no one-cost creature named Goat yet. Yeah. Ready, set, goat. I know we have alpacas. Don't know why we don't have goats. You'd think there would have been goats in the WNB release, honestly, given that it was all about witches and beasts and things like that. And goats are, goats are a fairly normal thing to see in conjunction with witches. Goat's head stuff. Not to be confused with Wiccans, who can also be associated with goats. That's just because I know a few Wiccan farmers who have goats. It's a goat. Goat, goat, goat. Ah, here we go. Here we goat. It's a very animal-themed thing today. We got goats. Samurai Quack is watching. Oh, it looks horrifying on the thing. Okay, so Shinami up at the top, Neon down at the bottom. Shinami using the new Sarah skin. Somebody spent money. 1 mutant on Shinami's side and 3 mutants on Neon's side. Ooh, out comes a Nature Lorna right out the gate. That's pretty cool. Hello, Brown. Welcome to the stream. And a Goblin Shredder immediately to shut that down. Very nice. Very nice. Of course, that doesn't really hurt Shinami too much because Lorna's grave cost does not increase, which is an awesome thing about her. Okay, so Skeleton coming out, not in front of the Goblin Shredder, just hoping to get a little bit of damage off so that the HP remains more or less equal. So each player just sort of trading blows right now. And a Holy Missile comes out to take down the Skeleton, which in turn brings out the Hidden Spider, which goes right in front of the Goblin Shredder. So that Hidden Spider is going to die before it can kill the Goblin Shredder. Discard into gold. Quite interesting. Summoning Commission, perhaps? Could be. Let's find out. That's a lot of gold, though. And a discard into dark. Okay, so maybe charging up for something. Maybe has a stone curse ready to come out. That would be interesting. We shall see. Yes, so it was Summoning Commission. And Euripides comes out, which is quite intriguing. Why Euripides, one wonders. Okay, so the Betrayal to come out. Comes out and grabs the Hidden Spider. So that's going to do actually some nice damage. Euripides pulls that back, drops her energy down to 1. Now, Shinami has more than enough for a Flame Emission, but goes for a Paralyzing Bomb instead, which is an interesting choice. It'll keep all the creatures. It'll keep the Hidden Spider on the field for on the opponent's side of the field longer, but it will also prevent Euripides from activating her ability and going down to 0. So this does buy Shinami a little bit more time. A discard into gold, which is interesting. Maybe another Summoning Commission coming out. That would be pretty cool. And Assimilated Euripides on Shinami's side comes out. All right, and a Betrayal. But because... Betrayal onto the Euripides, that's pretty cool. But because that Euripides was paralyzed with Paralyzing Bomb, that's not going to work out so well. Okay, so that hits Neon's own Euripides and resummons the Hidden Spider, which could be good or could be bad. I mean, it gives Shinami a lot of... and out comes a surprise attack. Okay, so that was a costly sequence of removals. The Hidden Spider does provide board pressure, but it also drained the nature, leaving Shinami with basically nothing but gold. Just enough for a Notira's Needle, though, which does improve the numbers and gets her Darkness resource back up into a nice round 4. Neon charging up himself. Good gold and good light, but Darkness is really suffering, so he just has to hope that that's not going to be one of the necessary resources. Finally, you can watch my streams. I'm glad you can make it, Zapata. And Pegasus, yes, it's a very cute hero skin that Shinami's using. Okay, so Shinami has a greater offensive board presence at the moment, and is somewhat leading in terms of resources now. Nevertheless, Neon's got a lot of resources in the bank, so can answer that Hidden Spider quite easily if he chooses to. Charges up into gold and summons the White Moon Bunny. And the Goblin Chieftain +1. So, despite the fact that we said no Goblin Chieftain +1 and no White Moon Bunny, Neon decided to bring a Goblin Chieftain +1 and a White Moon Bunny. Okay. Naughty, naughty. Assimilated Euripides comes out, and will we see a Betrayal? We will. Alright, so the Betrayal onto the Bunny, which is always fun. And a blow from the Hidden Spider. So both players low on resources, both players equal HP. Imagine, hello, you were baited by the now picture, were you? Excellent, my clickbait is working. And Zapata, yes, I remember your Yaxi, the original troll. Okay, so What a betrayal always hurts. That was a resurrection, so that hurt Neon more than it hurt Shinami, but it did drop the resources down on both. If... Oh, Mist comes out, redirecting the magic missile. Interesting. Onto the hidden spider. That will now, the Golden Chieftain can't kill the Euripide. This is going to take Shinami down to, what is that, 2 hit points? Yeah, 2 hit points. So, not easy. Another throw paralyzing bomb. Okay, that's going to buy some time. Some damage and some damage. The paralyzing bomb activates. This is going to come right down to the wire. Living the thug life here. It's not a +1, Neon. Oh, for my mistake. My mistake. Holy Missile comes out and takes care of Euripide. The Goblins and the Goblin Chieftain are going to be fine at the end of this next turn. Sarah got a little bit of HP regenerated, but that's not going to be enough. Squee, you're awesome. I think sportsman-like... More or less, yeah, not a kind of sportsman-like finish there. Wanted the bunny to deal a little bit of damage. And now Neon's got it on the bag, so hopefully we'll see a sportsman-like finish with 3 charges. And finishing blow struck by one of the goblins. Alex, can you still sign up for sub-battle? Absolutely. People can continue to sign up all throughout the live stream. In actual fact, Zohaib, I think it was, is looking for a somebody to fight. So next up is Yellow Dragon versus Zik, and then it can be you, Brown, and Zohaib. Okay, so very interesting fight on both sides there. Some good plays, some interesting plays. Neon, the bunny, really. But apart from that, very well done for everybody. It's a normal goblin. You've got, yeah, you still had the bunny though, didn't you? And we specifically said no bunny. You got no AoE spell steal with rush decks like that. Yeah, honestly, it's why you'll see a lot of Japanese players running Holy Spear just for those kinds of situations. Just doesn't matter what the other person plays, a Holy Spear is going to take it out, kind of thing. You're still looking for the green AoE, the green Nature Ambush. Cannot play. It's some really interesting, crazy. Why can't you play Majin? That's upsetting. Okay, so, good game to Neon and George. I will erase them from the board now. Next up is Yellow versus Zik. Wait until I give the word. And then after that, it'll be Zohaib versus Brown. And... okay, there we go. Zohaib, you're going to be up against Brown. Oh, good lord. Okay, so we're on to the hand now. This pen. Okay, so whoever had, what is that, 4 fingers and a palm, whoever was betting that that's how much I would get covered, they're winning so far. Okay, I'm going to put this pen away and I'm going to start using my red one. Where's my, there it is. Red pen from now on. Okay. Next up is Yellow Dragon versus Zik. So ready, set, goat when you guys are ready. And a gift from W5WL, some gold. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That goes towards buying cards off the player store, which in turn, of course, go to videos. You have a Nature Ambush +1 in your shot, do you, Neon? Nice. I think the normal ambush, normal Nature Ambush is better, but yeah, the +1's pretty good. And my devil hand, it'll be a devil hand if I could manage to cover myself in red ink. I hope we have some turpentine in the garage. Okay, here we go. Yellow Dragon versus Zik. Okay, Zik up at the top, Yellow Dragon down at the bottom. A very quick start with an elf right out of the gate. And Zik decides to charge. He's not going to challenge the elf, he's just going to take it. Which is then responded to with a Hermit Share Dark. So this has to be responded to. I have to drop a creature or a removal spell. Surprise attack comes out, and that takes out the Share, meaning that the damage from the elf still goes through. But at least Zik doesn't have to deal with that superpowered transformed Share. I have a mutant version of my hand. It's a dark mutant. Good for PvP. Yellow Dragon levels up to 2, as does Zik, and that elf continues to hammer away. Nevertheless, that's only a 9 HP difference. Zik continues to charge, fearing nothing from this elf, apparently, which must be somewhat confusing and possibly terrifying Yellow Dragon. It's always worrying when your opponents just take those punches. Feels like the beginning of a Rocky movie, or the end of a Rocky movie. Yaxi, you're second in rookie right now. Very nice. Post your deck list in Discord channel. Excellent, thank you. I love to see that. Zik charges up again. Now, is he going to drop something this time? No, it's still a double charge. Still just building up those resources. What is Zik leading towards is the question. Because you're going to go down to 17 HP at this point, possibly more if Yellow Dragon decides to just toss out an arrow of revenge, but probably won't. Yellow Dragon charges up to gain nature. Probably charge up again, I assume. Yep, no reason to do anything else. Just keep charging up, maintain that resource buffer, and then see what happens. Persona Vela, very nice. Okay, so a card you don't honestly see very much, kind of Persona Orisha's little sister almost in terms of effect. Command Hunting comes out because it's an untargeted spell. Vela's ability doesn't properly activate. Her secondary ability does activate and deals a little bit of damage to the elf, but not enough to kill it. Neon, you can fight again in the second round. You promise no gimmick. Okay, if you promise. Okay, so Zik is thinking about it. Apparently that Vela was fairly important. Psychic Storm, okay, very expensive removal for the elf, which was still a 1-cost card when it was played, so interesting. Yellow Dragon's turn, he drops a Leopard, playing it very cautiously, just dropping these low-cost creature cards, trying to bait out responses, and charging up to maintain resource parity. Okay, Zik summons the Mana Vampire +1. Ah, the good old Mana Vampire +1. And Taylor Miss Shelley, which will kill the leopard and summon a zombie. Very nice. Okay, so the zombie has basically no HP, but that's alright because you've got, what, 14 plus 8. What is that? It's 22 damage on the board right now, and that absolutely demands an answer. I have a 2 Hand of the Devil card right here. Flame Mission comes out, hurts the vampire without killing it, and takes care of the zombie. That still leaves 15 damage on the field to be dealt with. Christopherus, welcome to the stream. Yes, long time no see. Notira's Needle takes out the vampire and charges up the darkness on Yellow Dragon's side, leaving just Taylor Miss Shelley on the field. She will do 7 damage, but Yellow's not really fearing that too much at the moment. Zik decides to do a triple charge. Again, no reason to do anything else right now. Got to maintain that resource growth. And he's the only one with field presence at the moment. A Resurrection, which hurts both players. And a Vampire comes out to drain off Ms. Shelley's HP. That will kill the Shelley before it kills the Vampire, unless it's dealt with. Nevertheless, Zik does have light, so a Holy Missile could be incoming. Kalpesh, welcome to the stream. Nice to have you. So, let's see. Will Zik decide to Holy Missile that vampire? No, he decides to turn it into a frog instead. So perhaps no Holy Missile, or else he's saving up light for something special. We shall see. Taylor Miss Shelley deals with the vampire, and Zik charges up the rest of his actions. Oh, Neon, Yellow Dragon, sorry, not Neon, I was looking at the chat. Yellow Dragon brings out Remiel, and, oh, good grief, grade A Closure Kite. Actually a decent card, Kite. You don't see him very often, but he is good. Remiel activates, drains the HP, and vanishes Taylor Miss Shelley off the field, so no resurrection for her, if that was something that Zik was planning. And that puts 13 damage onto the field, which is a 2-round kill, unless Zik can deal with it quickly. Let's see. He's got a lot of nature, so, you know, now would be good for nature ambush. Oh, Linker Elvenkier. We do not see that card very often at all, but a powerful removal on Remiel there. Doesn't deal with the K'tay, unfortunately, but Linker Elvenkier does heal himself up each turn, as well as the hero, so it's maybe okay. Do I play Shadowverse? I started to play Shadowverse. I played it for like a couple of weeks, but I didn't like it. Command Hunting comes out, deals with that Linker Elvenkier, and Euripides is on the field with 1 energy. So, 1 movement, and she'll be down to 0, and then she'll start capturing other cards unless she is dealt with immediately. Lots of blood sucking and disappearing. This duel can be mistaken for an occult ritual, yes. Somebody start chanting passages from the Bible backwards. Surprise attack out onto Euripides. Yep, there she goes. And that leaves Yellow Dragon in a rather awkward position, actually. Low resources, because that was an expensive push he did there, trying to finish the game quick. But that now leaves K'tay on Zik's side of the field. Zik has the resource dominance. So let's see if Yellow Dragon can pull this back. 9 damage needing to be done to deal fatal to Zik. So it's not impossible. Emmy comes out. That will switch K'tay around. But they'll just start dancing unless something is dealt with. So this should be interesting. Of course, the plan may be simply to hunt K'tay, leaving Emmy open and ready to deal fatal, which I'm assuming Zik is a little bit concerned about. He's thinking about it. He got a little bit lazy and didn't want to play Zik. Calpesh, okay. Zik charges. Okay, so he's just going to run the risk of no hunt. Oh, no, I see. All right. Yeah, K'tay's ability, of course. My bad. Okay, so no, that was solid. That was a solid play. Yes, I keep forgetting about that end of the turn dealing damage ability to K'tay. It's what makes him so good. Yellow Dragon charges up. It goes into gold, which possibly wasn't where he was hoping it would go. Charges again, and that one goes into dark, and then out comes the vampire. Okay, so K'tay pops back onto Yellow Dragon's side of the field, and that leaves Zik with 2 creatures, really, to deal with. He can kill 1 and still survive, but let's see if he wants to. Okay, so Elvenkier comes out, deals a significant amount of damage to that vampire. Doesn't kill it outright, though, so will we see a removal? We will in the form of Taylor Miss Shelley. Interesting. So Miss Shelley comes out, the jumbled zombie is summoned, and Persona Evie comes out. That is a big board flood. She's going to kill K'tay, and that's going to cause... oh, she's not going to kill K'tay, sorry. She heals. Yes, I was thinking Lynn. But that's strong. That is a... Look at that. It went from 9 HP up to 26. And just like that, the... health advantage has reversed, although so has the resource advantage. Yellow Dragon is now leading in terms of resources. Does he have an answer, though? If not, and he doesn't, so it looks like he's gone for the sportsman-like way of finishing it. Zik decides to be a sportsman as well, and out comes those all that fatal damage. Very nicely done. Taylor Miss Shelley and Linker Elvenkier. I had not considered that combo, but that is a nice combo. I like it, and I really like that 9 HP up to 26. That was really, really good. So, and the Remiel side card on Yellow Dragons, excellent. So, very interesting decks from both players. Very, very cool. Very well played. That was absolutely back and forth. Very well done to both players. Good game. Okay. Nice. All right, so that is yellow versus Zik. I'm rubbing it off the whiteboard. There's yellow versus... I need to get a better thingamabobber, whatever this is, eraser. Okay, next up is Zohaib versus Brown. So when you guys are ready, set, go. Yeah, HP buff deck. Very, very cool. You don't see HP buff decks very often, but it's good. It's good. I've always said that there are technically 3 kinds of resources in the game. There's your camps, there's your actions, and there's your HP. Kalpesh, you want to be set up for a fight? Okay, we are about to watch Zohaib versus Brown. So when we're done that, we'll start the second round of fights. I will put you in the top spot for the next one. Neon also wants another fight. Okay, here we go. Zohaib versus Brown. Introducing the challenges. Okay, so Brown up at the top and Zohaib down at the bottom. 4 mutants on Brown's side, 1 mutant on Zohaib's side. Using Belphegor and girl I always forget her name of because you just don't see her very often. So interesting hero choice on Zohaib's side. Okay, so what have we got? Gold, nature, gold, mana, and dark up at the top. Mana, nature, and light down at the bottom. Zohaib goes second after Brown charges, and he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it and decides to perform a charge himself. Okay, so both players basically doing the boxer thing, circling each other, waiting to see who's going to do what first. Book of Knowledge comes out. That's Brown ready to level up to 2 immediately. Does Zohaib have his own Book of Knowledge, or is he going to play a creature in order to punish the early level up from Brown? Neon, you're ready and you have a surprise, do you? Oh, good. I do enjoy surprises. Maybe you and Kalpesh can fight in the first battle of the next round. So Zohaib is either thinking or his internet is running slow. We're not entirely sure. It's not my internet anyway, I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to double check that. No, my internet's fine. Neon's cheering on Zohaib. Who else? Who's going to cheer on Brown? It has to be balanced. I'm beginning to think that Zohaib might have lost connection, though. As long as it's not Succubus. I always liked Succubus cards in theory, but... Okay, Zohaib charges up. And it's Brown's turn. He's going to level up. Okay, so no punish on the early level up from Zohaib. Let's see... what happened. I'm beginning to suspect he's lost connection and the AI is playing. I'm not sure, though. It's very slow movement. Oh, man. Dark Hand of the Demon. Alright, so, yeah, I'm beginning to suspect that Zohaib's either running really, really slow internet connection or that the AI is taken over. So, everyone talk among yourselves. What do you think of what you've seen of Euripides so far? And do you think that she's a card that you'll want to try yourself, enjoy playing, or are you going to just discard her? So if you are playing, it's really, really slow. You're taking like a minute for every single action. Really, really slow. There you go, it's a charge. Did I ever think about doing Shadowverse stream? If I'd gotten into the game enough to actually stream it properly, then I would have done it. But as I say, I didn't enjoy it. I just didn't enjoy the game. It was... it's too simplistic, too luck-based. And I don't like the way that the camps are, the archetypes are set up in it. I don't think it's very competitive. Okay, so a Potion of Mana comes out, which is very interesting, followed by a skeleton. There's something wrong, as Zohaib. That's, yeah, it's fine. I mean, don't worry about it. It happens. We all have connection troubles sometimes. She costs too much and has bad stats, Zapata. Yes, well, she's an ability-based character. So that's generally the way it works out, unfortunately. Till you change your phone, you can't play Mabinogi Duel. Oh, imagine. That's disappointing. Hopefully you'll be able to change your phone soon. But yes, generally creatures that have abilities, the better the ability, the lower the stats. And the worse the ability, the higher the stats. Zohib charges. So yeah, I think there's definitely something wrong on that side of things. Jin Kisaragi comes out. Fantastic. We're not a card we see very often. And the Dark Ice Golem. So excellent. We're seeing that. Very cool. Zig, did I watch a new Yu-Gi-Oh? I haven't watched anything recently, I'm afraid, because I've been completely occupied with Mass Effect Andromeda and Tokiden Kiwami 2. So I've just been playing those two games non-stop, I'm afraid. I haven't watched anything. But yeah, I should watch it again. I mean, I'm still playing Duel Links as well, so, you know, I like Yu-Gi-Oh! No, something wrong. Yeah. Okay. Doesn't seem like your character's able to do anything, unfortunately. Which is a shame. Yeah, just your guy keeps charging. Well, the battle's about to be over. Don't worry. We'll reset your phone, Zohaib, or whatever it is you're playing on. Just turn it off completely, turn it all the way back on again, and we will reschedule you and Brown for a fight once you've done that, okay? So you guys can have another fight. We won't erase you off the board. Oh, the phone is so hot now. Okay. All right, so Neon wanted to go, and Kalpesh wanted to go. So, second round of fights. Nobody fight yet. Remember the code, ready, steady, goats. So, nobody fight yet. Yaxi, you want to go? All right. So, let's do, because it was Kalpesh. Oh, Lord. Oh, wow, he's in the red thing. Okay, yeah, all my pens are broken. All right, you know what? Screw it. We're going back to pen and paper. I should have checked this, the pens worked before doing this, shouldn't I? Professional. Okay, all right. Got my paper and I got my pen. So, okay. Oh, I just accidentally kicked my dog. I didn't realize he was down there. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I kicked him again. Good Lord. Nobody tell the RSPCA. Okay, let me see. Zohaib versus Brown, and we'll do Neon versus Kalpesh. And Yaxi wants to fight. So who wants to fight Yaxi, otherwise known as Jesus or Jesus Zapata? I'm not sure how you want me to pronounce that first name. Majin, my wise Arcadian opinion about Mass Effect Andromeda. Great fan of the franchise, but I don't know what to think about Andromeda. Think of it this way. Remember, and without rose-tinted goggles, remember what Mass Effect 1 was like, right? Because I love the Mass Effect trilogy. I think it's fantastic, except for the ending of number 3. Don't talk to me about that shit. But otherwise, I think they're a fantastic trilogy of games. Nevertheless, Mass Effect 1 was not considered that brilliant. It was new and exciting, and people liked it for that. But in terms of gameplay and mechanics and storyline and characterization, it wasn't actually rated very well. Everybody hated the rover thing that you drove around. Nobody was really into it. But number 2 took everything that was good about number 1 and built off that and stripped and just got rid of everything nobody liked about number 1. And then number 3 just kind of polished everything to perfection. So think about it that way. Number 1 is kind of the experimental thing. They're trying a bunch of new stuff. Number 2, they'll remove the crap and add more good stuff. And number 3, they'll polish. That's hopefully how I think it's going to go. So Zohaib, not next game, Zohaib, because I want you to restart your phone, just in case. I got a pen, but do I got an apple? Nix, you want to go as well? A pen apple. Okay. Brown. Oh, all right. You guys want to go immediately, do you? Okay, hold on. I'm a little bit worried this isn't going to work. There's no reason to think that whatever was the problem is going to be fixed. But okay. Let's try it. So, Brown up at the top. Zohaib down at the bottom. Let's find out if this works. The rover was annoying, but also pretty environmental. Yeah, the rover was just annoying. Nobody liked the rover. Literally nobody liked the rover. The critics hated it. Players hated it. The Mass Effect, people's opinion of Mass Effect has gotten like a lot rosier because number 2 and number 3 did such a good job of just building off the success of the original one. But the first game had a lot of detractors. Okay, so Zohaib is actually able to play this time around. That's fantastic. So out comes the trap in the castle, which is always interesting to see. Kalpesh, you'll be going right after this fight. Thras, you just got from your hometown university town with Maria. That must be nice. Okay, so, and Brown casts the Potion of Mana. So, charging up towards that, which is all pretty cool. So, it looks like Brown's running a different deck this time around. He's not running the one that had the Dark Ice Golem +1, because there's no Dark. So, let's find out. Discards a gold card to the grave, so we may be seeing a Summoning Commission, which would be quite interesting. And discards another gold card to the grave. Okay, so we could be seeing a couple of gold traps, or he could be building up towards a 5-cost gold card for the next round. Could be building up towards Flame Emission as well, perhaps. So Heeb charges up. He's using the traps to provide himself with some defensive line while he ramps up his resource cost. Unfortunately, it is also allowing Brown to do the same thing. Brown discards another card, another gold card, so after having revived, which is interesting. I mean, it's the kind of play that you normally associate with Theozenior, but we banned Theozenior. Maria, hey, welcome to the stream. Discards another card into gold. Zohaib, I can't believe it, the darkness has vanished. Interesting. A lot of discarding, reviving going on. It feels Theozenior-ish, I'll be honest. It better not be. Against the rules. We'll find out. A Seeker Nereva +1. At level 3, always interesting. And a Persona Skathach comes out. Okay, so. And a Beastkin Jane Gold +1. Right. Okay, so that's what all of the discarding was for, is order to charge up to the Beastkin Jane. So this is the Immortal deck that I made a video on like 2 months ago. A Gold Jane +1, a Nereva, and a Skathach. Nice. Damburger, hello, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Alright, so this is going to be problematic for Zohaib, unless he happens to have a Holy Spear, in which case that might be possible. But obviously you're going to need to, you shouldn't, that was too expensive to counter off Nerva. You need to drop a bunch of low-cost spells in order to drain Nerva's energy, and then you can start using the big removals. Imagine, sorry for the topic. Don't worry about it. We talk about everything here. It's a Mabinogi Duel stream, but chat about anything. If you would like to chat about Mass Effect Andromeda and other games in more detail, join my Arcanauts Discord server. I'm always on it, and I'm happy to chat and play games and stuff. So I mean, if you have Mass Effect Andromeda on the PS4 or the PC and you'd like to play some multiplayer, we can do that too. Yes, not everyone likes Shadowverse. You enjoyed it a lot though. It's an upgrade from Hearthstone for you, but it's your opinion. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people like it. It's very, very popular with a lot of Asian players, is Shadowverse, but yeah, it's just not for me. So, Brown has managed to completely clear out those traps without Skathach creating too many dead. So that does not provide Zohaib with much options here. Okay, so he's using his Magic Missile to drain Nereva down to 2 energy. If he can throw out one more small spell, then he'll be ready for using a big removal. And now would be a good time to do it, because Brown has very low resources at the moment. HS is Hearthstone. Brown's one. Brown is definitely in a very, very strong position, but a good AoE removal here would completely turn it all around, and there goes the ambush. So that's it's solid, but it's not. Yeah, okay. So basically, that was just a screw you. I'm going down fighting kind of situation. Unfortunate. I would say to anybody that's running ambush, especially if you're running 2 ambush, do give serious consideration to running Holy Spear instead. It's just a really, really, really good removal, especially in the current meta. Still very well played on both players' sides. What is that? A double ambush deck on Zohaib's side, which is very cool. And the Immortal Girls, I can't remember, Archangels, the Archangels deck, which is also very cool to see. Well played to both players. Good game, good game. It's a half gimmick deck, Zik. It kind of. That one I've never really been able to say to my own satisfaction whether or not it's a gimmick deck or even a pseudo gimmick deck. It's strong, but it is very easy to counter. So it's like, meh. But yeah, you do need particular kinds of cards in your deck. Okay, so good job to Zohaib and Brown. Next up is Neon versus Kalpesh, but before we do that, we want to not really a fan of popular card games, are you, Neon? What a hipster. I'm kidding. Right. Nereva by herself is just too strong. No, Nereva's actually, you don't see her a lot in high-level PvP anymore, and it's for a good reason. She's really, really, really easy to counter these days. So many new cards that shut her down completely. Nereva +1 is definitely strong, but she's not like overpowered or gimmick based on her own merits anymore. She was, but she's not now. Okay, so you used your weakest. Why would you use your weakest deck? Use your strong. Use strong decks. Anyway, yes. Okay, so next up is Neon versus Kalpesh, but no fights just yet. Let's get a couple more people signed up. So Yaxi wants to fight somebody. Did they ever add more lulls campaign to this game? I don't know whether you mean like a campaign, haha, it's a stupid campaign, or whether you mean lulls campaign as in, fun and funny campaign stories. No, they haven't. It's all gotten very grim dark right now. It's all Remiel is dark, and oh my god, everyone's brooding, and everybody's dead. Oh my goodness, Batman, we've got to fight Superman. It kind of annoys me, honestly. I prefer the tongue-in-cheek stuff, but whatever. Playing against aggro deck, so strong cards are weak, yeah. Playing against aggro deck, Nereva gets absolutely destroyed. George got another Euripides deck, you're up again. Didn't want to use the deck, but yeah, I mean, Brown, it doesn't count as gimmick, so you were perfectly within your rights to use it, yeah. No gimmick deck, 5 cost or less. Still need Damn Seeker Nereva, yeah, she's decent. Would I classify trap decks as gimmick decks? It depends on the trap deck. If you mean like Trap in the Castle, if you're basically talking like Mutant Pillion, which uses Trap in the Castle, Bard Song, Phantom of the Wolf, Bloody Aurora, and so on and so forth, and that is pseudo gimmick. But if you mean trap decks as in decks that focus on trap-based creatures and spells and so on and so forth, then no, those aren't gimmick decks. You'll use your strong deck, Albish, okay. Zohaib, I told no strong cards. No, I didn't. I said no gimmick cards and try to use fun, interesting, or solid decks. But you can use strong cards if you want. Just don't use gimmick decks. Yes. Okay, so who else wants to fight? I know a few people have said that they're up for a fight. But I don't want to scroll all the way back up in the chat because then I lose my place. It's not gimmick, just staple. Yeah. It's fairly, these days it's not even staple. I resurrected my Archangels deck just out of curiosity like a week or two ago to try it up in high-level PvP, when that's what Brown was running, and it doesn't work in high-level PvP. Not reliably, anyway. I mean, it's fun, and it's fine, but it's not sort of hugely meta-competitive anymore. Too many counters, too many traps. Okay, so Damburger, you've got a homebrew. Okay, let's see. Yaxi versus Damburger then. What if your idea also could be type of gimmick ones? Well, no gimmick decks or pseudo gimmick decks are allowed. If you're not sure, then send me... just me personally through Discord or something, the link, and I'll take a look at a link to your deck, and I'll take a look at it and tell you whether or not you should run it. George, you got another Euripides deck? Okay, well, if you want to run another one, let's put you down there. George versus somebody. Okay, so currently we have first fight is Neon versus Kalpesh. Second fight is Yaxi versus Damburger. Third fight is George versus somebody. Who else wants to fight? I'll give you guys a second to volunteer while I check out these 2 new messages. A gift from Stame and Sausin0. Thank you very much, peeps. I really do appreciate that. It's going to go towards cards, which are going to go towards videos. Thank you very much. Okay. So, Zohaib wants to go again. Okay, so we can have George versus Zohaib. All right. Brown wants to go again. All right, so we'll put Brown versus somebody who wants to fight Brown. You're always sure that you don't run gimmick decks because you do crazy hell decks. No one does. You remember my beautiful creations? Just kidding. No Fiozenior, no Parnok, no Bolo, no Boro, not Bolo, Boro. No Nereva. Nereva's okay. Nereva is all right. No Trap Beat and no Wave of Life. No. The Trap is okay as well. Because there are counters to that kind of thing. Fiozenior, Parnok, Boro +1, Light Elf +1, Jur, Wave of Life, all that kind of stuff. They all require dedicated counters. You can't beat them with a normal sort of skill-based deck. So we don't allow those. But Nereva's fine because you can counter her. You can even turn it to your own advantage. And I mean, trap cards are okay as well. I'm not really sure why trap has suddenly become a thing, which is a bit weird. Okay, all right. So nobody signed up to fight Brown just yet, so we will keep your name on the board, and we will start up with the new round of fights. First up is Neon versus Kalpesh. Second is Yaxi versus Damberger. Third is George versus Zohaib. So Neon versus Kalpesh. Whenever you're ready, set, goat. I'll move over here. Dog's making weird noises behind me. You think Narrative is okay, but with some fun cards like Succubus, yeah, I mean Succubus and Hanjo and things like that, they're a lot of fun. And yes, you can run them next to Nereva, which is a lot of fun. Nereva, Gold Hanjo, and like Stone Curse and Petrify cards that's a fun deck. I like that deck. Did I know that on Mabinogi Duel site you can generate your own cards? Yes. They're quite popular. I see them a fair amount on Facebook. People post them in the Discord chat, occasionally on subreddit. It's a lot of fun. One day I can do a Persona Arcadean. Well, people already insist that I'm in the game. Well, people say that I'm in the game already. They say that Mad Technician Werner is based on me. I don't see it. Goat. All right, at the bottom, Neon. At the top, Kengi, otherwise known as Kalpesh. 3 mutants on Kengi's side and no mutants on Neon's side. An opening with the Grave of Grudges. Bold play, interesting play. Because it takes a little while to pay off its own cost. But let's find out if this works out. So it looks like Kengi's going to ignore the Grave of Grudges and is just going to rush towards level 2. How will Neon respond to that? It decides to charge and skip a turn, allowing the Grave of Grudges just to sit there and build itself up. 2 grudges available. As it can use Nereva +1 and Sata. Zombie Synthesis deck. Oh dear. Okay, so the synthesized zombie comes out. Decreasing HP, increasing its own. That is a lot of synthesized zombies. Whee! And a magic sensing bomb mana +1. So that is pretty solid. That's 12 damage out onto the field right at the beginning. Whoops. My screen's gone dark for some reason. I think it's overheating a little bit. I apologize. You can see what's happening though. Magic Missile comes out to deal with the Grave of Grudges, which is painful. Oh, good. It's the lights are back on again. Oh, nope. The phone's decided to turn itself off. Oh, dear. I think the phone decided to actually turn itself off. I apologize. My phone just went weird. Oh, no. It's still there. It's just Oh, right. It decided to try to listen to me. I do hate how they do that sometimes. Come on, turn back on properly. Nope. Okay, it's going to reset. All right, so we're going to miss a little bit of this fight. I apologize to Neon and Calpesh. We're going to miss a little bit of your fight. But stupid Google decided to listen to me and then try to talk to me. That's why I wish this game was a little bit better optimized. I just cycle it through an emulator on my PC. Pseudo gimmick with the zombie synthesis. I don't really know how to classify zombie synthesis. That one's up to the chat. What does chat think? Zombie synthesis, spell card decks, good or not? Battery's fine. The thing's on, but it's an Android phone. So every time I say okay, there's a chance that the Google thing on it will start listening to me and trying to listen to what I'm saying, and then we'll say, oh, I know what you're trying to say, and then it'll give me like a search result. It's useful sometimes, but it's really annoying other times. I wish it wouldn't do it while I have other programs active. Okay. I gotta turn this footage back on. There we go. And we're back. Okay. Shut up, Shuko. God, you think I'd be better at those names? Okay, it's over. Dang it. Thank you for the gems, Unohana. All right, so it's over, but apparently it was a bit of an ouch. People are debating whether or not that counts as a pseudo gimmick deck or not. Okay. All right, next up is Yaxi, otherwise known as Jesus Zapata, versus Damburger. So, when you guys are ready, set, goat. Calpesh wants to know what the surprise was. I know what the surprise was because you don't have your cards masked. And yes, it's a shame we couldn't see that surprise because that would have been a freaking awesome surprise. A bit late this time, went to the dentist, Nip Nip. I hope everything's okay. You're going bad. Neon, can you fight again? Yes, you can. All right, so it'll be Brown versus Neon then if you want to fight again. But first up is Yaxi versus Damburger. Calpesh, you're up for another fight. Okay, well, currently it goes Yaxi versus Damburger, then it's George versus Zohaib, then it's Brown versus Neon. But Calpesh, I'll put your name down, and whoever wants to fight, they can fight you when we get down to that point. Okay, you guys are ready? Ready, set, goat. There we go. All right. Spectating. Ba-bum. All right, here are the challengers. Yaxi up at the top using the hero. And Damburger down at the bottom using Scold. One mutant on Yaxi's side, no mutants on Damburger's. Mana Nature Dark and Gold Nature Dark. All right. I can tell that we're all going to be rather distracted by Yaxi's side of the screen. So, immediately a Summoning Commission comes out onto the Skeleton. That's not going to work out so well. And the Hidden Spider comes out as well. So many combos going out. So the Summoning Commission hasn't really earned anything. In fact, it hasn't earned anything at all. And that has placed Seeker and Hidden Spider on the field. Medusa comes out, which is very interesting. Holy Missile comes out to destroy the Medusa, which is going to activate her effect, but because there's nobody on her side of the field, it doesn't do anything. Skeleton and the Hidden Spider do their job. The Golden Golem comes out. Nice. +1 gold to all heroes when it gets hit, which is not going to benefit Yaxi at all. Imagine you got to get back to your lab. Okay. Stay awesome yourself, and hopefully you can make it to the next live stream. Okay, so the Golem gets a little bit of damage off. The Phantom of the Wolf comes out, charging everybody up. Sorry, blah. And Cocoon of Evolution comes out to deal temporarily, at least, with that Phantom of the Wolf. Interesting move, because you do still need to remove that Cocoon. Oh, out comes Lychee, I've been told it's pronounced. Lychee Failing, who deals damage, which helps to charge up the gold, which is always nice. And both players are still at level 1. So Damburger, yeah, he decides to level up, which is going to keep him alive and at 6 HP for the moment. Yaxi, we assume, is also going to level up, unless he just wants to go completely ham here. No, he decides to level up as well. Whippy, you want to battle? Okie dokie, I will put you up against Kalpesh then. And Damburger is in a fairly awkward situation, although he has enough gold for a flame emission, perhaps, if he has one. And he does. Out comes the flame emission, deals with a lot of that. Doesn't kill the hidden spider, but that's okay. Probably should have allowed the failing to live, because it was just going to continue to give him more gold, but never mind. Never mind. Game Boy, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you again. Probably referring to the most expensive card in your deck. On PvP, it shows the highest cost card. I don't know. Oh, interesting. Net Spider comes out. Net Spider is an odd little card, but a lot of fun. Rachel Alucard, who's a card we just do not see very much. Bringing out Nago. Command Hunting activates. Nicely played because of the Nago positioning. And the Hidden Spider manages to do a little bit of damage. It's a quick attack deck. Yeah, Pegasus, yes. Yellow Dragon, you can battle too. Okay, I will quickly mark down your name. There we go. Okay, and hello, Nacho Guerrero. Welcome to the stream. Okay. So, what will Damburger do? He's got to deal with a lot of people here. I don't think he has the resources to deal with them, unfortunately. Petrify comes out. That's going to deal with Rachel. But unless he can deal with Nago or the Hidden Spider, he's still going to die. He discards a card. Okay, and then all Damburger, all it actually needs to do is charge up, but decides to just finish it very quickly with an Arrow of Revenge. Very interesting decks on both players' sides. Golden Golems and Medusas on Damburger's side, which is awesome. And then Rachel Alucard and all that kind of stuff happening on Yaxi's side. Very, very quick decks on both players' sides. And that Summoning Commission activating 2 cards, just... Why is my hand black? It's a long story. 1 gold shy of barter when you needed it. It's always the way it works, isn't it? Moth has that trouble a lot as well. He's always whenever he loses, it's always like 1 turn off bringing out the awesome card. That's a shame. That's a shame. Okay, so a very good fight on Yaxi and Damburger's side. Well done, guys. Okay, so we'll start up with the next string of fights. Hold on, I've got to let the dog out. He's scratching at the door. Come on, puppy. And we're back. Okay, so professional today. Whiteboard didn't work. My hand is completely black now, and I keep having to leave to deal with the dog. Okay, good game, 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 says everybody. Excellent. All right, so up next is George versus Zohaib. Okay, Game Boy, you'd like to battle? I will... Right, you will go up against Yellow Dragon then. All right, so before anybody fights, here's the current roster. George versus Zohaib next, then Brown versus Neon, then Kalpesh versus Whippy, then Yellow versus Game Boy. All right, so George and Zohaib. Whenever you're ready, ready, set, goat. You were saving up to steal the whole squad. That would have been brutal. Yeah. Alrighty. Got greedy. Well, it's always difficult to know in Mabinogi Duel whether when is the right time to drop something. Offline. Shoot. No. Next part of streams coming out? Well, I don't know. Should not kill the guy. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Brown, you're up against Neon, but first it's George versus Zohaib. So George versus Zohaib, then Brown versus Neon, then Kalpesh versus Whippy, then Yellow versus Game Boy. Just wait until my stream is up. Oh, the stream is offline. What the hell? YouTube is having some trouble, apparently. It's still working on Twitch, but it's not working on YouTube. I apologize, people watching on Twitch. All right, let's. I'm just gonna. I may have to completely turn this off and turn it back on again. Okay, I apologize to everybody. I will. I'll do a full reset. Okay. Oh no, wait, hold on, we're back. Never mind then. Okay, I have no idea why that went down. That's bizarre. Hold on, I'm just going to quickly reset my personal feed on the YouTube thing. Okay, yeah, all right. So it looks like it's finally caught up. I have no idea what that was about. YouTube apparently just decided it didn't want to bother with streaming anymore. We are having trouble with YouTube. I am considering moving permanently onto Twitch. Okay, so George versus Zohaib. Let's see. All right, good. And we're back. All right. Oh yes, I forgot to do the code word, didn't I? Ready, steady, goat. Like that poor guy on the BBC. I don't know what poor guy. I don't watch the news. You'll have to tell me. Yep. Neon and Brown. Make sure you guys are added together. George versus Zohaib. Yeah. I think George and yeah, it looks like George and Zohaib are looking. Oh, yeah, Neon. To answer your question about masking your cards, it's somewhere in the settings. I forget where. It's up at the top anyway. Let me just quickly check while we're in here. It may not be possible to do it right here. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's in settings. Okay, so Shinami up the top, who discards a card, and Zohaib down at the bottom. Shinami using the fun Sarah hero. I'm pretty sure. Yep. Yeah. Okay, good. Game Boy, you don't know what to do. Just, you are going to be going up against Yellow Dragon, so just share your in-game name. Okay, so Zohaib... It looks like it might be broken for him again, unfortunately. Unless it's me again. I don't think it's me again. No, it's not me. Okay. Definitely not me. I keep having to check to make sure I can open up pages and things. It's weird because I did the settings thing. Everything is now moved over a little bit. There we go. Yeah. So George is just going, yay! I think Zohaib's going to... Yeah, this is what was happening before. I think Zohaib's going to have to reset, and we'll just have to reschedule the fight. Let's see. If this takes like 60 seconds again, and then it's another charge, we'll assume that Zohaib, their connection is misbehaving again. And we'll just come out of this, and we'll start, and we'll move on to the next one, and we'll just, George and Zohaib can fight after the next fight, basically, when his phone is working again. Shinami with the taunts. So sad. So sad. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so it looks like Zohaib's thing is broken. That's unfortunate. All right, so we will do instead Brown versus Neon, and then we'll do George versus Zohaib. After that, if Zohaib gets onto chat and lets me know that he's fixed whatever the problem is, he is having a lot of difficulty at the moment. It's the second fight today where he hasn't been able to actually do anything. So that's a shame. All right, so next up is Brown versus Neon then. You bet all your money on the white chick, and they're both white chicks, so yeah. You bet all your money on both of them, which means you bet half your money on each of them, which means you're back where you started. Okay, so next up, Brown versus Neon. Ready, set, goat. Hey, Moth, you made it. Welcome to the stream. Oops, accidentally tapped on Brown's. Okay. Let's play. Go. Yeah. When Zohaib's sorted out. Yeah, it's a shame. Okay, so what was I saying? Neon versus Brown or Buttnuts. I assume you guys are ready to go. I don't see you getting ready. Unbracking. Don't know how long you can stick around for. You're around for a few minutes. Watch at least one battle. Well, yes. If Neon and Brown will start fighting, you can watch them. Yeah, and Game Boy, you'll still need to give your username so that Yellow Dragon can add you. Alright, and Pegasus and Neon want to fight in the second round. Okay, I'll write that down. But Neon, you gotta fight Brown right now. Come on, buddy. No, it's Pegasus. There we go. Okay, so I've written down Neon and Pegasus for the next round. Which means the order now currently is Brown versus Neon, then George versus Zohaib, then Kalpesh versus Whippy, then Yellow versus Game Boy, then Neon versus Pegasus. Whippy's level 80. Yeah, I mean, Whippy's like super high everything. Where's the thing? Yeah, PvP 10th Dan, level 81. Somebody plays a lot. So Kalpesh, good luck. Okay, Neon and Brown, if I don't see you guys sort of talking and getting into the fight soon, we're just going to have to skip you. Nature Ambush is in rotation, is it really? Okay, so for everybody who doesn't know, Nature Ambush is actually a really good AoE spell. It's basically Nature's only viable AoE spell. So if you've got a lot of gems to spare, go for it. Just be aware that the new cards are probably going to be released in 2 days, so don't waste all your gems on it. BRB, yeah. It's a goat. Okay, good. Goat. There we go. Oop, alright. Yeah, I do love the card. Yeah, it's a very good card. I prefer Holy Spear to Ambush, but Nature Ambush is really good AoE. Anyway, Neon up top, Brown down at the bottom. 2 mutants on Neon's side, 4 mutants on Brown's side. Both players just charging up towards level 2 immediately. What's that? The Elysis hero versus the Belphegor hero. So both players hit level 2. Both players doing evenly for resources, fairly evenly for health. So, let's see. We've got mana, light, dark, and gold, light, dark. Okay, casts Colorless Soul Stone, so drains all of the gold into darkness, which is quite interesting. Mage Genoa comes out, which is a very interesting, bold play. Oh, and the Inn. I like it. Very cool. Okay, so there is no removal spell will kill her at the, well, no like basic removal spell will kill her. You can't get her with a surprise attack or anything like that. Euripide comes out. Interesting. Okay. Along with Wanderer, Emmy, Light +1. Very cool. So if Emmy hits, that's going to drag Genoa over to her side of the field, and then Emmy is also going to come back onto their side of the field. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Let's see if this works. Hellhound comes out and deals enough damage to kill the Emmy. Very well played. Very well played. So that means Genoa is going to kill that Emmy, which means that whole fun little sequence that Brown was planning is not, unfortunately, going to work. Let's see. And yeah, Zohaib, wait. We're in the middle of a fight. You go next. Don't be hasty. Don't be greedy. Okay, brown charges up into gold, and then charges up again. Okay, Euripides deals some damage. Genoa is going to continue to drain, and then the inn is going to rejuvenate the Hellhound. Is a fun combo. White Shark comes out. Okay, so pretty brutal combination, actually. A Genoa, White Shark, and inn. Interesting. Can you get Yellow Dragon's code, Game Boy? Yeah, Yellow Dragon, if you're around and paying attention, please post your code into your in-game name rather into the chat so that Game Boy can add you. Internet trouble, really? Hopefully not on my end. Everything seems to be working okay. Yep, everything's working fine here. Okay, so out comes Beatrice. Very interesting. Her ability is not actually going to activate, which is pretty fun. And Genoa gets dragged over onto Brown's side of the field. The inn continues to do its work, as does the White Shark. The Hellhound is going to kill Euripides this round, which means that Genoa will pop back onto Neon's side of the field after Butts, Nuts, or Brown's other turn. Beatrice is being used as a guard, but she doesn't have creatures adjacent to her, which means I'm pretty sure her ability won't activate correctly. But let's find out. So, Euripides goes down. The Beatrice continues to get a bit of damage. Genoa drains off Beatrice and deals 3 damage to Neon. Now, Brown's got a decent amount of gold, but almost no light and almost no darkness. So, yes, Flame Emission comes out, deals with that White Shark and the inn. Now, Genoa is going to go back over to the other side of the field now. There she goes, and that does mean there is now, 12 damage out on the field, which means that Neon just won. So, sportsmanlike, we hope. And just a quick 3 charge. Let's find out. You think you might switch over to Twitch if YouTube is being troublesome, George? Yeah. Is YouTube down again? And Genoa deals the finishing damage. No, YouTube's still working. I don't know. The YouTube does seem to be misbehaving. I think we'll switch across to Twitch permanently, possibly from next week onwards. Anyway, very well done on both players' sides. Very cool to see that light ME +1 on Brown's side, and very cool to see the Genoa in combination on Neon's side. Excellent decks on both players' sides. Excellent plays. Very nicely done. Mr. Whippy, why are you so strong? Yeah, okay, so YouTube is just being bad today. This actually has nothing... Yeah, okay, I can see that it is, like, lagging out and things like that, even on mine. So, YouTube is being unpleasant. So, anybody who wants to see uninterrupted gameplay, please switch across to Twitch. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the YouTube right now. It's just not doing well. Okay, Jewel is goat, is it? George, okay. I'll quickly jump into yours. I haven't even had time to scratch off those other 2. Okay, so that was Brown versus Neil. We'll scratch that off. Alright, so bottom is Shinami, top is Zohaib. 1 mutant at top, 3 mutants down below. A bold opening move with the card appraiser. And a discard into light. So are we going to see Interfectum? Maybe. Let's find out. Zohaib levels up to 2, just continues to take that damage, doesn't want to play anything in front of the card appraiser, which is fair enough. And the card appraiser continues to do some damage, but Zohaib isn't really worried about that. Their HP is equal at this point. So, let's see. What does he decide to do? Remove the card appraiser or play a creature outside of its range. Surprise attack +1. Interesting card. You generally don't see surprise attack +1. It's usually not worthwhile, but let's see if Zohaib has a specific reason for putting it in his deck. Catbox. Ah, interesting. And out comes the Hidden Trap, another card you just generally don't see. Shinami, welcome fellow peoples, yes. Welcome everybody to the Twitch side of the live stream. And the Gold Rush Light comes out. Interesting. Going to bring that up. Shinami is, sad that the trap didn't actually work the way he was hoping, because the Catbox has no attack value. And performs charge again to build up his resources. Okay, so he's definitely got resource advantage over Zohaib, but it depends now on what Zohaib does to this cat box. But the only thing he can do really is a hunt. But let's see. Okay, a discard into nature, so interesting. Are we going to be seeing a trap card, or is he charging up for a specific thing, a specific card? Let's see. Okay, Shinami is not taking any risks and decides to flood the field with traps. And then charges up. Alright. So, that one trap in the middle is so much worse quality than the other traps around it. It looks almost like a different card. Lichi Fei Ling comes out. We'll jump in front of where the cat box was, kill that thing, jump back, kill that thing. And interestingly, the trap does not activate because that doesn't count as a melee attack. So, good for clearing out the area, but almost would have been better if it had activated the trap so that the cat box would have been killed. Holy Missile comes out and deals with Lychee. Moth, you don't seem to be able to log into Twitch, so you can't chat while watching that. That is weird. There's no guest chat. You should be able to guest chat in Twitch, surely. Maybe not. Alright, so both players are now level 3, and it is Zohaib's turn. He decides to charge, and he goes into light, which is quite good, because that helps to balance out the resources. Will he do something else? Charges up into mana. And plays Deus Machina Nirvana. Interesting choice. Possibly would have been better to place it on the far right-hand side. That way, if it was removed, it would have taken out 2 traps with it. But, yeah. He possibly didn't want to spend any time on the removals that would be necessary. So the ambush vine comes out, drops in front of the Golden Bomb Squad. That's not really going to do anything. The Golden Bomb Squad will still kill it before it is killed. Shinami discards gold card into the grave. Could be saving up for a flame emission, or could be saving up a summoning commission or something like that. And charges and skips a turn. Okay. Okay. Now, I see we do have a lot of people who have flooded into Twitch, so that's pretty cool. Alright, ouch. That's, yeah, the Nirvana... yes, I forgot about Nirvana being on the field. So the ambush vine will in fact kill that Goblin Bomb Squad, but then will die itself. Neon here looks like you have to create an account. Weird. I could have sworn you could guest chat in Twitch, but apparently not. I don't know. I mean, I've had a Twitch account for like 10 years or something at this point, so I really don't remember how it works in that sense. So I apologize to everybody who has to create an account for Twitch, but it is significantly more stable, and I think I will probably move on to it permanently. We'll see. Whippy, is that a kiss and a hug, or what are you doing? Okay, so Shinami charges up. He's gaining resource advantage, but is having a significant amount of difficulty dealing with these peeps. The problem with Nirvana being placed there is if Nirvana dies, it's going to kill the cat box, which is going to then summon cats. So Shinami's going to have to remove Nirvana and then remove the cats that come out of the cat box. YouTube is jacked. Damburger, I agree. It's not doing well. YouTube is just for chat now. Watch in Twitch, chat in YouTube is better. Well, you can chat either way. As you can see on the screen here, everybody's chat will appear, Twitch and YouTube. You have discovered emojis, Role-Playing Catnip. Excellent. The emojis on Twitch are better, though. You get the kappa emojis. Light Elf comes out in front of Nirvana. That's not really going to work too well. The elf is going to die long before it manages to take out that Nirvana. So let's see if Shinami has another plan in mind. Euripides comes out. Interesting. Perhaps a betrayal then on the Nirvana? Could be. Won't let you log in for some reason. You have to chat on YouTube and watch on Twitch, Moth. Okay. That's weird, but alright. I think I might be artificially inflating my numbers. Well, if we move across to Twitch, then it means I have more control over like bots and things like that, and I can set up moderators and things. So if If you would like to be a moderator for the Arcanaut livestream chats, come into the Arcanaut Discord server and let me know. Ice Spear comes out, deals with the Euripide and the Elf, and Nirvana gets a little bit more damage off. Magical Beast Apophis. Wow, I love that guy. I love that guy. One of my favorites from when it was in the lab. And I still really enjoy it. Again, it's not one of those like hyper meta competitive cards, but the fact that you summon 2 creatures that heal themselves and continue to split whilst one of them is left alive makes them difficult to deal with in any kind of solid way. Twitch and YouTube are both lagging for you, are they, Neon? They shouldn't be. I'm getting a really solid green upload. If Twitch is lagging for anybody else, do let me know. But it should be okay. Zohib is apparently happy with what he did. Oh, Botanist Christie comes out and drops off the doodad. Now, is that a +1? It is a +1. Okay, so regardless of what happens to the little botanist wagon thing, Christie will be able to summon her Arthur companion. Unless she dies immediately to Nirvana, which is what happened. So... That Nirvana is doing work. Absolutely doing work. Yes, no one saw the finish of your fight. I saw the finish of your fight, Neon, and people on Twitch saw the finish of your fight. People on YouTube didn't, apparently. You have a pretty bad internet, but you can watch the stream here perfectly. Yeah, actually good. I'm glad to hear it. So hard to protect and combo with Euripides, it really is. Down goes the cat box, and that opens up the black cat, and then the Nirvana deals the finishing blow. Well played on both players' sides. Very interesting decks, like that whole, card appraiser, Euripides kind of thing. And hey, kudos to Zohaib for the magical beast Apophis. Lovely. Although I am curious about what the cat box was for. It's an interesting card to choose, given that there didn't seem to be any combos of it. Very well done to both players, though. Interesting decks and well played. Look at that. The cat merchant wants my mutant magic gourd bomb for trash. Screw you, cat merchant. Nobody loves you and you've got no friends. All right, so very well done. George versus Zohaib. Very nice fight. You were just shy 1 light resource to do your combo. Yeah, I know. The game is so like that. It just... Every time you're just like so close. A number of times I've been like 1 or 2 resources off doing what I need to do in order to win. It always sucks. Okay, next up is Kalpesh versus Whippy. Then Yellow versus Game Boy. Then Neon versus Pegasus. You're just not going to battle because of your Wi-Fi, Game Boy. Oh, okay, all right. So no Yellow versus Game Boy then. Okay, so Kalpesh versus Whippy, and then Neon versus Pegasus. If you guys are ready, let me know in chat, or I'll just keep an eye on you on the screen. There we go, wherever it is. But yes, either way, ready, set, goat, whenever you guys are prepared. Dan Berger, you can play in Game Boy's place. Okay, if Yellow Dragon is up for it. I haven't heard him on stream in a while. So if you're around Yellow Dragon and you want to fight Dan Berger, let me know. In order to get top 10 today, you won 3 battles in a row with 1 HP. Yikes. There was a surprise, but never mind. Okay. Well, hope maybe you can show us a surprise next time you run the deck. Okay. Just waiting on Whippy and Kalpesh. Okay. Yellow Dragon, you're fine with it. Good. All right, then we will do Yellow v... Dan Berger. It's not... It sounds really insulting. My brain just went completely blank, not just on your name, Dan Berger, but on literally everything. I was like, where am I? What am I doing? Okay, here we go. Is there a mutant for summon ghosts? White one. Okay, so Kengi up at the top and Whippy down the bottom. Both have 5 mutants. Good God. And Mana, Nature, Dark, and Gold, Light, Dark. Alright, so both players running Dark, but apart from that, no similarities in their resources. Whippy has not masked their deck, so everyone can see what they're running. I won't scroll around it so that it can remain a bit of a secret. What's in that red juice? Nobody knows. It's a secret. It's the source of all my powers, and obviously I can't reveal it. Out comes a heavy offering, still one of my favorite cards. Deals with that light elf, and a skeleton, a dark skeleton, is summoned in its place by Whippy. Not that I am drinking it today. I'm drinking it today. Is it sloth or is it moth? Well done. Yet again, a completely new username. Good job, moth. Making it absolutely impossible for anyone to know who you are anywhere. Alright, so an ancient goblin bomb squad comes out in front of that skeleton. An expensive, well, not an expensive counter, but a more expensive counter to the skeleton than the skeleton cost. So let's see. But both players get an experience boost off that, because both technically kill a creature. New number 13 comes out, which we have actually not seen recently in these recent fights, which is pretty damn cool. Betrayal comes out, grabs the number 13, very clever, whilst it's got the summoning thing around it, because that means that it will summon a flying sword, and then its ability will activate before it goes back onto the other side of the field. So with that Betrayal, Whippy got the number 13 and an extra creature that gets to just stay on his side. Apparently both Sloth Moth and Future Sloth were taken. You must have made 2 other accounts. Okay. YouTube's back on, is it, Neon? Good, good. Stupid YouTube. Okay, so the Flying Sword activates. Really? Chief God of Tanor to keep the number 13. Oh my goodness, this is interesting. Interesting. Twitch is laggy for you. Is it Nick's Catnip? Interesting. Okay, so Tanor brings number 13 back. Capture comes out to grab back the number 13. Very, very expensive, but the resources are still more or less equal, so that's pretty awesome. Because there are enough fun matches, playing number 13 on a daily basis is getting boring, admittedly. And the Arrow of Revenge comes out. Number 13 summons a flying sword, which is going to get killed by the opponent's flying sword, but so it goes. Both players doing not bad for resources. Whippy with a with a health lead, but not with fatal damage on the board, so it could still go either way. He has leveled up first, though, and that is a bit of an advantage. That's why I bring in different decks. Well, I'm glad to see it. It's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, I like number 13, but yeah, seeing the weird and wonderful decks is very cool. Okay, so charges up. He can basically ignore that flying sword more or less. Chooses not to, though. Okay. Number 13 now summons a flying sword, which is not going to have any immediate threat, except here comes the possessed Iltutmish, which drags it over and unsummons the Iltutmish, which in turn summons the Swamp Hidden Spider right in front of that flying sword. Good grief. It is going on today. Alright, so that means number 13 is going to summon another sword. The Shadow Vampire comes out, which is an interesting choice. Just really wanted that flying sword dead, I guess. So that puts 11 damage onto the field on Kengi's side, and with the flying sword, that's now 18 damage onto the side. Possessed Iltutmish comes out again and snags the Shadow Vampire, which goes in front of the Swamp Hidden Spider. Good lord. Okay, so that puts 14 damage on Whippy's side of the field, and was that 12 damage on Kengi's side, but blocked by the Shadow Vampire. 2 discards by Whippy, which is quite interesting. Number 13's ability activates, doesn't really do anything to that possessed Iltutmish, who keeps hanging around. Elf comes out as a block, I assume. Yes, a block to the possessed Iltutmish. And is he going to charge up a couple of times to gain some resource parity? Let's see. You have to get ready to go. You leave the stream on to listen to the commentary. Oh, thank you. Just bask in my dulcet tones. Good game, glasses, ladies, as says Zohaib. They're both glasses, ladies. Okay, Chief Guard of Tanor comes out. Are we going to see another betrayal or similar? Nope, he's just there. What, to keep a hold of the... I'll be honest, I don't really know how Possessed Iltutmish's thing works. Yeah, okay, so it is to keep a hold of the Shadow Vampire. So, grabs the Shadow Vampire back, drops itself out, refunds its own cost. Holy Missile comes out, takes care of that Shadow Vampire. Phantom of the Wolf, -1, onto the field to charge up all of his creatures. And Kengi manages to land the finishing blow. Good grief. That was really back and forth. Very, very close match there. Very interesting to see as well. And I really liked Whippy Sing. Shame we didn't get to see the Donnell's Mushroom Stew coming in. But very, very cool to see a Possessed Iltutmish next to a Chief Guard of Tanor. Excellent decks on both players' sides. Excellent plays on both players' sides. Really, really good. Very good. Okay, so Kalpesh versus Whippy. Everyone should be proud of how they fought there. Strong duel, I agree. Very strong duel. Okay, next up is Yellow Dragon, or Kemerai, as he is now known on Twitch, versus Damburger. And then it'll be Neon versus Pegasus after that, and then we will create a whole new round. Hello, you're in the car, Francesco. Please don't type and drive. I hope you're at the traffic lights or something. Okay, yes. Next up, Yellow versus Damburger. So, ready, set, goat. I apologize. You want to play your Mage Genoa versus Neon's Genoa. That would be very interesting to see. Well, if Neon wants to pit his thing against yours, then Zohaib versus nobody yet, but we can put you on the list. Zohaib versus, okay. Damburger seems to be in a mission or something. Okay. And Kalpesh, you're up for another fight. Okay. Maybe Kalpesh versus Zohaib then. So Yellow versus Damburger, then Neon versus Pegasus, then Zohaib versus Kalpesh. And if anybody else wants to fight, just post your in-game name in the chat. It's all for fun, so, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. That's not the point. Yes, and it's Yellow versus Damburger first, and then Neon versus Pegasus, then Zohaib versus Kalpesh, and then anybody versus anybody. Here we go. Yellow Dragon versus Damburger. Boop. Shinami, you'll duel a game, but you won't be using Euripides. Okay, I'll put your name down very quickly. Alright, so Damburger up the top, who discarded a card into Dark, which was apparently Stone Curse. Very interesting. Snags out Black Spirit. Interesting play. You generally don't use Stone Curse right out of the gate, so let's see what the plan is here. Another discard into the grave. This one looked like gold. Natura's Needle comes out. Very cool, to free the Black Spirit. Very nice. Okay, so well played on both players' sides. And Yellow Dragon is now ready to level up. Damburger decides to charge and just let that 3 damage come through, which is fine. Yellow Dragon's going to get a couple of blows off with that Black Spirit, which is going to help out with his own experience gain. That's going to ramp him up towards level 3 pretty quick. Summoning Commission comes out on the Elf, which is really not going to give many gold, or much gold at all, if any. So unfortunate for Damburger that was the Elf and not something more expensive. It was certainly a reasonable attempt, because Yellow Dragon does have enough to summon something big. Okay, so Magical Beast Gorgon comes out, and that would explain the Stone Curse early at the beginning. Because you can then kill the petrified creature and deal with it. Mukro Algesco comes out, though, and is an immediate counter to that poor... that poor creature. Okay, so down goes the Gorgon Beast. That's a shame. Zohaib, anyone wants a spaghetti? Okay. Alright, so Yellow Dragon charges, Petrification comes out, and targets down the Elf. Yes, the strongest creature there. Alright, whoops, screen's gone dark again. I really hope this doesn't mean we're about to... Yes, I think Google's about to try to talk to me again. I'm trying not to say what it wants me to say. Go away, Google. Oh, such an annoying thing sometimes. Yep, there we go. Stupid machine. Okay. Alright, we seem to be alright though. No, please go back okay. Please go back okay. I don't think it's come back okay. Thomas, yes, welcome to the stream. Hello, you're just in time to watch my stupid phone be stupid. I do not know why it suddenly decided to start listening to me say okay. Good, we are back alright. Thank goodness for that. Alright, so... interesting. The Bluesy Floozy bomb came out, and that did activate. Barter comes out. There we go. All right, and that switches everybody over. Shinama can't disable. I generally don't want to disable the function. It should not be listening to me while I'm playing Mabinogi Duel. It never has in the past. And I like it generally because I can just have it on my desk next to me, and I can just sort of say, and then get it to search for stuff. But, I may have to just turn the stupid thing off. I like it as a function. It's just annoying me right now. So, Notira's Needle comes out to kill one of the ghosts, which gets Darkness Resource, which then summons Aryabhata, which has, energy of 10. Cocoon of Evolution comes out, and that obviously, is countered. And then which creates an orb, which is then in turn turned into a cocoon, which is quite interesting. So yeah, Dr. Cocktail, you're in for the next fight. Okay, I'll take a look at that. All right, so Aryabhata, it does now have fatal damage on the field. So Yellow Dragon, be a sportsman, I assume, perform a couple of charges, and allow Aryabhata to land the finishing blow. That fight was like just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Very well done. Very well done. It's a shame for Damberger that Yellow Dragon, had those Notira's Needles and things like that, the perfect counters to the petrified creatures, but so it goes. So it goes. All right, so Dr. Cocktail wants to fight. Shinami is waiting for a opponent, so I will put you there. Dr. Cocktail. All right, so well done. Yellow versus Damberger. Very nice, very nice. Sexy play, bro, says Deadpool, and I concur. Very sexy. All right, next up is Neon versus Pegasus. Neon versus Pegasus. And Thomas, you want to play as well? Okay, I will put you down. Zerathil versus... Okay, all right, good. Next up, yes, Neon versus Pegasus. And Nonus, you want to fight too? Okay, you can fight Zerathil then. Nonus. Okay. Yes. Alright, so let's see. Neon and Pegasus both online. They're not doing anything. Good, good, good. Those TBT cards, yeah, they can be irritating. Yes, Dr. Cocktails, you can see his in-game name down there. To whoever it is that's fighting him. Okay, it looks like Pegasus and Neon are charging in. There they are. It should be a good one. Let's find out. Alright, so Neon up at the top and Pegasus down at the bottom. 2 mutants on Neon's side and no mutants on Pegasus's side, which is very interesting. Both using triple color decks. So, Pegasus opens up with an elf. And Neon decides not to challenge it and just charges up instead to get ready to level up. Nonus, who do you add? Yes, you add Zerathil. Yes. And then Black Spirit comes down. So, very quick charging chip decks. Vicon, Deadpool and you used to play random rental deck matches against each other. Pretty fun to get along. Yeah, those can be really enjoyable. Okay, Neon brings out a new number 13, summoning the Flying Sword, which is immediately countered with a Turn to Frog, taking out both of them immediately. So, both players ready to level up to 2 now. Neon has no real options, pretty much has to level up. No AoE resources handy. Maybe an idea for the stream if we haven't done it already. I like the idea of random rental deck matches, but I think we mooted the point a couple of live streams back and people weren't really too enthusiastic about it just because of the randomized nature of it. Hero Tyron comes out, a card I have not seen in a very long time, but used to be the card I was the most envious of. Immediately countered, unfortunately for Neon, by a command hunting, and out comes the Leopard. So it looks like Pegasus is running basically a quick chip control deck, kind of aggro control. Watcher of the Forest Genie, very cool. I love that card. She's some of my favorite artwork, and her effect is pretty cool as well. So, Pegasus needs to either simply charge up or needs to play a nature card unless he wants the Forest Genie to create a trap. So he decides to charge up twice, which is sensible. There's no reason to play anything. The Watcher of the Forest Genie isn't a huge threat at the moment, and it's more important to gain resources. Cocoon of Evolution comes out to counter the Forest Genie, which is nature, of course, so it doesn't activate her ability. The elf continues to chip away. The leopard will kill that cocoon the next turn. Let's see. Yeah, Deadpool and Vicon, if you guys want to do random rental duels, we can spectate that, absolutely. When does the new patch come out, Dr. Cocktail? 2 days from now, probably. Hunt comes out and deals with that leopard. Neon's obviously hoping that cocoon is going to be left alive long enough to come back out. But unfortunately, here comes Persona Lin, the Mana Eagle equivalency. It's very cool. Your name is really different because your old account poofed. Oh, this is a shame. And charges up. Okay, so the elf gets a little bit more damage off. And Neon's doing pretty well for resources, except for nature. Suffering in HP, but, so it goes. Drags some cards out. Pegasus doesn't have too many creature cards in his grave, so that only hurts him by 2. But it does drop Neon down into fatal range of the 2 guys, although I'm pretty sure he was already there. Out comes new number 13, which is going to summon a flying sword, but I'm going to assume a flame emission is about to come out, and it does. Takes out number 13, which allows Lin to deal the fatal damage. And charges up again, I assume. There we go. Okay, a sportsman-like finish, only doing exactly what you need to do in order to win. Very well played on both players' sides. Some interesting cards, especially that Hero Tyron. Very cool. And Pegasus demonstrating what you can do with a basic chip aggro control deck. Just counterfied that control. Yeah, that control. That control. It is brutal. It is brutal. Well done. Very good fight on both players' sides. Okay, up next is Zohaib versus Kalpesh, then it's Shinami versus Dr. Cocktail, then Zerathil versus Nunes. What is this one? No. Net Warrior for a Novice Thief. Near. I mean, neither of them are Pegasus the Merciless. Yeah, good game, good game. Okay, so Zohaib and Kalpesh, when you guys are ready, set, go. Charge it. There we go. Good. How's YouTube doing, by the way? Is it still rubbish, or is it fixed itself up now? New number 13 is OP in fight, shouldn't be playable in battles. It's not OP. I do wish people wouldn't say that. Anytime a card is above average, the cry goes up that it's OP. OP means overpowered, as in too powerful, as in it completely disrupts the meta and it is poisonous or cancerous for the game. That is not what number 13 is. It is not overpowered. It is just a very good nature mana card. Whippy, you want another battle? Okay. I will write your name down while this loads in. So, Whippy wants to fight. So if anybody wants to fight Whippy, and don't let his level 81 and 10th Dan scare you off. Okay, so Kengi up at the top and Zohaib down at the bottom. 3 mutants on Kengi's side, no mutants on Zohaib's. Kengi discards Nature into the grave, so we assume Ambush Vine, but it could also be Hidden Spider or Cocoon Trap. Let's see. Zohaib is thinking about it and performs Charge. Yellow Dragon, you want to fight Whippy. Okay, good. I'll write you down then. Yellow. Neon number 13 is just good, not OP. Yeah. Yeah. Pegasus destroyed it pretty easily. Yeah. No, Lin is okay to use Pegasus. Lin is okay. You always like how Pegasus plays. Yes, Pegasus is very, very good at control. Very, very good at control. Okay, so Kengi charges up. Both players are just kind of charging. Zohib also charges. Both players taking it slow, kind of scoping each other out, building up their resources. Skathach is OP. Skathach is not OP anymore. Used to be OP. But pretty much destroyed by most of the new cards that have been released. Which Xena? So we have to assume that the mana is a white shark. Role-playing Catnip. You want to fight? Okay, I will write your name down. RP Catnip. Okay. Alright, so Zohaib charges up on the second. An elf comes out, which activates the ambush vine. Yellow is fighting Whippy, Neon, but you can fight role-playing Catnip. Okay, Xena gets taken down immediately by Hunt. That's unfortunate. Steve, you're at home. What did you miss today? We talked about Euripides, and we've been doing a lot of sub-battles. Neon, if you want to fight, RP Catnip's available, let me know. Marika comes out. Interesting choice, because nothing is currently within her range. So let's see. No, Zohaib decides to charge. Interesting. Rather bold play to bring Marika out when your opponent has light resource and there's nobody around that Marika can actually activate her ability off. Bold move. Let's see if it pays off. It did not. Out comes the Flame Emission, taking care of both of the creatures on Zohaib's side of the field. Kengi then charges because there's no reason to play anything else. He has battlefield control at the moment, so it's more important to get a hold of those resources. Cell Soul comes out. Interesting. And Swamp Hidden Spider is activated because of the spell. Alright. So that puts 8 damage now onto Kengi's side of the field. Drag to Hell comes out, kills the Swamp Hidden Spider, which simply resummons itself. So still 8 damage, but that did drain a lot of nature resources. Nevertheless, Kengi's now in a very solid position to just charge up and level up, which is what he does. 8 damage comes out, and now Kengi takes the HP lead. However, Zohaib is leading in terms of resources, so he decides to level up and has enough now to do something pretty brutal if he decides to. Goes for the Nirvana. Interesting choice to place it there. If it had been placed in front of the elf or the hidden spider, it would have killed them both on its own removal. So, interesting choice. You see the battle, that's good. Oh no, it didn't kill them. No, because it has to, it has to charge out one more time. I forgot about that. So, alright, so Nirvana goes down immediately, which, yeah, she just does, unfortunately. You do need to, kind of need to play her more in control decks as a general rule, or have her surrounded by a lot of guys that are also really threatening. So bad for Super Booster. Got Light Triss -1. Ooh, ouch. And Mana Jejinoa -1. Ouch, ouch. -1 on both. Those are nasty. Notira's Needle comes out, takes care of the Hidden Spider, charges up the Darkness. Hidden Spider is pulled out again. So Kengi is basically never going to have nature resource for the rest of this fight. He's just not going to have any more nature resources. The only saving grace is a Lorna +1. That is decent. That is decent. I mean, any Lorna is good. Lorna -1's good. Lorna +1's good. Lorna neutral is good. There's decks for all three of them, which is a good card. Kengi charges up again, gets that 9 damage off because Hidden Spider is now level 3. Zohaib does have a lot of resources, but apparently no area of effect removals. You would expect to see an Ice Spear or something coming out now to clear the field, but since it's not happening, we have to assume that he doesn't have it. Discards into Darkness, brings out Xena, and pretty much has to remove either the elf or the hidden spider, because Kengi has enough for a flame emission. So okay, 2 blocks. That could work out all right. Let's see. Holy Missile comes out and deals with the Xena, which is going to free up that. And then a Betrayal. Yeah. When your opponent has Fatal on the board, it's you generally just can't rely on blocking. You've got to actually remove. But it seems like Zohaib was going for a kind of a creature-based AOE, which is very interesting. Very interesting. Unfortunately, didn't work out too well in this particular instance. And Sheik, cries the swamp hidden spider, which is frankly terrifying. Well, so well done to both players. Some interesting decks. That swamp hidden spider just constantly coming back out again and again and again. And yeah, the Marika and the Xena and so on Zohaib's side, always fun to see as well. Good game to both players. Well played to both players. Okay, so that was Zohaib versus Kalpesh. Well done. You remember this discussion in Discord about which is better? Yeah, -1, 0, or +1. Yeah, it depends on what you're doing with her. Yeah, it depends on what you're doing with her. All three of them are equally good, basically, but they need to be used in different ways. All right, up next is Shinami versus Dr. Cocktail, then Zerathil versus Nonus, then Whippy versus Yellow, then RP Catnip versus somebody. So somebody needs to challenge RP Catnip. But yes, up next is Shinami versus Dr. Cocktail. So have at it. How much is -1 Light Triss? Neon, you're only going to get like minimum price for it. Shodu, thank you very much for the gems. I appreciate it. That's going to go towards cards, which go towards videos. You just learned something. So you okay? Well, good. Yeah, as long as everybody has fun and learns something, that's what's important, right? I know I learn a lot by watching you guys fight. Very helpful. Okay, so yes, Shinami versus Dr. Cocktail. So whenever you guys are ready, set, goat. I'll put down that pen. Blah. Steve Rogers wants to fight you, Kenji, at some point. Not on stream, I assume. RP Catnip versus Arcadean. Yeah, my phone won't allow it, unfortunately. Not on live stream. We tried it before, but the strain light is already overheating just spectating. As soon as I actually try to play anybody, it just shuts down. It's really annoying. Okay, so here is Dr. Cocktail, otherwise known as Pandatoon, versus Shinami. Duel is a goat. Alright, so Shinami up at the top and Dr. Cocktail down at the bottom. Shinami using that nice little Seri Hero with 2 mutants. It looks like Dr. Cocktail is using 6 mutants. Good grief. Okay, so out comes the Nature Goblin Gravekeeper, which is pretty cool. Gives dark resource when it dies. It's a nice solid opening card. Blocked with a Goblin Bomb Squad. Interesting. Challenging people at like first Dan gives a reason for losing. Okay. Okay, so Skeleton comes out, a little bit more chip damage out onto the field, more to answer. Blocked by a Nature Goblin Bomb Squad. All right, so 2 Goblin Bomb Squads out onto the field. That's 6 damage available. Will Shinami decide to remove them, or will he decide to just charge up, gain some more resources? Let's find out. Null starts out. Yeah, Null starts out with. Oh yeah, Null starts out with 5. Yeah. Oh no, good point. Yeah, I hadn't noticed that Pandatoon had Null. Yes, so 2 mutants on Pandatoon's side. Okay, so yes, some removal. Golden Bomb Squad. 1 Golden Bomb Squad left out on the field. Both players up at level 2. Both doing well for resources in 1, pretty good for resources in 1, and bad for resources in 1. So that's quite interesting. Got a 6-4-1 and a 7-4-2. So Pandatoon is thinking about it. Charges, which is wise. There's no reason to play any card while you have board control. But he decides to go for Tsubaki in order to charge up its energy value. And at 17 effective HP at that level, it's basically guaranteed to survive. So, except against Drag to Hell. So Drag to Hell, Notira's Needle comes out. A nice little combo there. And that evens out the resource imbalance between the two. Pandatoon summons a number 13. Which is, of course, going to summon a Flying Sword. It'll be interesting to see how her usage changes in a couple of days when the new cards come out. Lisa Lovelock, very interesting. And a Goblin Bomb Squad on that side. So, yep, that's actually good for Shinami, I assume, because the Goblin Bomb Squad going down... Paralyzing bullets. To take her within range of the flying sword. The Golden Bomb Squad going down is going to significantly hurt the number 13. So that takes her down within range of like single removals. Command Hunting comes out, which deals with the number 13, and Shinami levels up, letting the 6 damage from the flying sword goes through. Many bombs. There's a lot of explosions going on. So many Goblin Bomb Squads. Out comes the Forest Genie. Very nice. Very nice. Looking at it, though, the Forest Genie and the number 13 up at the top, it almost seems like Pandatoon doesn't have any AoE removals, which is interesting. So, Flying Sword deals its 6 damage. Shinami charges up. And what does he decide to go for? He decides to just keep charging up. Okay, so he's going to actually take that 13 damage, and that is not an insignificant amount of damage to take to the face. So, let's see if he has a plan for this. Pandatoon charging up. Gains mana, which was that's good for him. Helps to balance out his resources, and then goes into gold, which actually ends up healing Sarah. Sarah is now down at 10 and absolutely needs to deal with the creatures on Pandatoon's side of the field, otherwise they will deal fatal. Assimilated Euripides comes out, which of course summons a trap. And what else? Nothing else. Interesting. Okay, so discards into nature, so Ambush Vine or Hidden Spider or something like that, but that's a bold play because... okay, so casts Phantom of the Wolf, which activates the summoning commission, but that's not going to make any difference. So that's 10 damage on the board. No mana thing. Okay, Mist comes out. Ow, that actually could hurt because the Mist is going to redirect the Flame Emission. Oh, bad luck, bad luck. If the Mist had redirected the Flame Emission onto the Phantom of the Wolf, that could have been extremely unpleasant for Pandatoon. But it went into the worst possible location, which, you know, that's what Mist does sometimes. And Flying Sword manages to get the finishing blow. Still, that could have been close. That could have been very, very close with that Mist. Well done to both players. Some interesting cards, interesting playstyles. Phantom of the Wolf next to the Forest Watcher Genie is pretty cool because if she summons traps, then the Phantom of the Wolf will buff the attack of those as well. Very well played to both players. Nice work. So that was Shinami versus Dr. Cocktail. Next up is Zerathul versus Nonus, then Whippy versus Yellow Dragon, and then RP Catnip versus somebody. Depends on who else wants to fight. So Zerathul and Nonus, when you guys are prepared, ready, set, goat. And I will... How many's up? There we go. Looks like a lot of people are fighting right now. Alright. Good game. Yes, it was a good game. Very well played on both players' sides. Whoops, I keep tapping on things I shouldn't be tapping on. You never got to use your sellout. Oh, that's a shame. Is that what you were trying to combine with it? Interesting idea. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Well, Whippy seems to be... It seems like he was just in a fight. So may not have seen the friend request just yet. Good. Nonus, you've... what, you sent a friend request to... Zerathul? I don't know. Looks like Whippy is actually in fights at the moment, so we may not see the friend request right now. Share code of the deck if anyone is interested. Well, yeah, if, that would be awesome. If you share deck codes, that's always appreciated. So Zerathul versus Nunith. Thank you very much, Dr. Cocktail, for sharing the deck code. That's awesome. It's their nuke guy. I don't know what that means. Okay, here we go. Zerathul. Spectate. Alrighty, okay. Alright, nuke. I see. Nuke chicken up at the top. And Zerathil down at the bottom. Zerathil using the Cat Merchant hero, which is very unusual. Colorless Soulstone comes out and increases Dark. Citizen comes out from Nuke Chicken's side, which is always pretty cool. Paralyzing Bullet immediately kills it. A little bit of light comes back, so the Citizen was, free. But that did get Zerathil up to leveling up. One day you'll win a duel with Euripides, George. One day. I think it's going to need to be in a hard control deck. Hard control using battlefield manipulation. Okay, so some discarding happening, some charging up happening. Beastkin Jones is happening. Very interesting, very interesting. Okay, so Jones is out onto the field. He does meet HP breakpoints, but Zerathil does have Dark, so a Dark Drag to Hell, or a Light Drag to Hell, in fact, could be coming out. Which is a good response, an equal trade. And Jones is problematic because he keeps healing himself up to full. Okay, so more charging. That's a lot of mana on Nuke Chicken's side. And that's a lot of darkness on Zerathil's side. So both players do seem to be charging up towards very specific numbers. Imp comes out. And then level up, which again goes into the nature, which is pretty cool. George just unlocked with Jijinoa hero character. Congratulations, well done. Alright. And Zerathil just leveled up to 3. Now, what will he do? Will he answer the Imp, or will he play something else? He's going to answer the Imp. So, with the surprise attack, with the paralyzing bullet, with the light drag to hell, it looks like Zerathil is running a fairly heavy control deck. Let's see, though. He's got a lot of darkness. A lot of it. So Nuke Chicken charges up, takes the opportunity of the board being cleared to try to gain a little bit more resource parity. He's going to try to make Zerathil move first. It's always easier to respond to a threat than to initiate one. Zerathil is also charging up and continues to charge up. Okay, so both players are basically just charging up at this point. A discard into green. Seeker Nereva comes out onto the field, as does Beastmaster Klaus. Interesting. All right, so Klaus, sort of activates his ability. Ooh, and it's Jurgen. Ouch. Ouch, that's a nasty one. Okay, so good summon by Beastmaster Klaus there. And Nereva has enough energy to block a single creature. Paralyzing Bullet comes out, but is obviously countered, which obviously Zerathil would know. So he's trying to drop Nereva's energy in order to activate a secondary spell. Let's see. Betrayal comes out, grabbing the Jurgen. Okay, all right. So Jurgen onto Zerathil's side of the field. Does he have Euripides? Maybe. Could be. Let's see, because the Jurgen being on his side of the field isn't going to help very much. Dark Betrayal. Ooh, Dark Betrayal. How jealous is the chat? Everyone freaking out in 3, 2, 1. Angel Orperia comes out onto the field and resummons Beastkin Jones. This is going to be painful for Zerathil, unless he happens to have a Holy Spear or something, because the Nereva and the Jurgen are going to go back onto Nuke Chicken's side of the field. And then, unless they get snagged by Tenor. Ritual of Darkness comes out, which activates his ability on everybody. Doesn't do a significant amount of damage, but hey, that's always nice to have. Someone who's balling. And Zerathil charges up. He's used a lot of resources there, so let's see if it pays off. Nereva tries to go over to the other side of the field. Tanor snags her back, and Jurgen does go to the other side of the field. Jones heals up. Jurgen transforms, which transforms Jones, which, ouch, but it does charge up Nereva. Resummon comes out, which obviously Nereva counters, and a couple of charges. Okay. And then that is just so much damage. That is just ouch. Ouch. Okay. So wow, that Beastkin Jurgen summon, that was clutch. I mean, sometimes Klaus summons completely useless beasts, but Jurgen, that was nice. Very good fight on both players' sides there. Good job to both Zerathil and Nuke Chicken, otherwise known as Nonus. Steve Rogers, can you fight with Kengi? If Kengi agrees, then yeah, absolutely. Next up is Whippy versus Yellow Dragon. Let's see. All right, whoops, there we go. GGG. GGG? All right, so yes, Whippy versus Yellow Dragon. Whenever you guys are ready, you're ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. And then if Kengi is willing, Steve Rogers would like to fight you on stream. Beast deck, yes. It's always interesting seeing Beastmaster Klaus. Sometimes he summons great things, sometimes he summons awful things. You forgot about your own Nereva when you used the resummon on Klaus. I did wonder if you had. And it worked out fine anyway. Okay, here we go. Yellow Dragon versus Whippy. Good. Alright, so Whippy up top with, yikes, 6 mutants. Definitely 6 mutants this time. It's not one of those 4 HP drop creatures. Both using exactly the same hero with exactly the same skin. Very cool. Alright. Light Elf comes out from Whippy. 1 mutant on Yellow Dragon's side. The Elf is blocked by the Elephant. Of course, since the Elf was placed first, it will kill the Elephant before the Elf dies. Skeleton comes out on the right-hand side, deals some extra chip damage, demanding an answer from Yellow Dragon, unless he wants to level up with less HP than he should ideally. Okay, blocked by Black Sheep Pan. Interesting. You don't see Black Sheep Pan very much, although the Mana Pan was very, very popular for a while. Holy Missile comes out, deals with the Black Sheep Pan, which means both players are ready to level up to 2, and Whippy is going to get a little bit more XP than Yellow Dragon because he'll level up and then the skeleton will deal direct damage. So Heeb, you're off to play Dota 2. Okay, have fun. Thanks for stopping by the stream. I appreciate it. Hopefully you can make it to the next one. Okay, Magician Masked Field. The classics. The classics. Magician Masked Field comes out onto the field, and Anna is summoned on the far left-hand side. You want to play again, if possible, with your weak test deck, Nonus. Yeah, you absolutely can. You can fight RP Catnip if he's still around and wants to fight. Do let me know if you are, Catnip. This Vampire comes out. Oh, and then Condense and Explode. Brutal. Okay, so that's going to cause some problems. So that deals with the Elephant. The Elf gets through. The Skeleton kills the Magician Masked Field. Anna is still on the board and ready to be transformed, but Whippy does have light, so a Holy Missile could take care of that cutting box quite easily. Kalpesh, you're ready for the next fight? Well, Kalpesh, Steve Rogers wants to fight you, so if you're ready to fight him, let me know. Yellow Dragon charges up, gains some dark. Both players are holding onto their resources quite nicely. Number 13 comes out to block the skeleton and summons the flying sword, which blocks the elf. Now, Whippy has a number of possible answers here. We assume we get a spell. Yep, the spell comes out, and then the level up, I would assume. Yes, there it goes. Good. Okay, so now Whippy has basically taken a strong lead because Yellow Dragon can't level up yet. The damage goes off, which is very nice. But yeah, Yellow Dragon's going to do something big. And okay, there it goes. Command Hunting comes out. That kills the guy and does allow him to level up. So that's fortuitous. Okay, so now Yellow Dragon has new number 13 and a flying sword out onto the field, and Whippy's strong early start has kind of faded away at the moment. So let's see. He's got enough resources, though, that he can answer these threats if he wants to. Neon, can you fight? Yeah, sure. How about... Well, Neon and Nonus. Neon and Nonus can fight. RP Catnip doesn't seem to be around at the moment, so let's do that. Neon versus known us after this fight. Whippy charges up and thinks about it. It is tricky. It's a tricky situation to be in. Hellhound comes out. Nice, a mana Hellhound. And that deals a nice amount of damage. Does kill the sword, which means that the ability doesn't activate. Number 13 is going to summon another sword, of course, but that's pretty good. Seigi's Crest comes out. Wow, okay, and transforms the Hellhound. Interesting choice. Oh no, Catnip is around. Okay, so we'll just take a brief pause at the end of this, and then I'll assign Catnip to a fight bracket. Okay, so Yellow Dragon charges. Both creatures still out on the field. Ice Spear comes out. That'll do it. So the Dark Ice Spear, an expensive answer, but Whippy's aware that you just got to get those guys off the field. They're just going to cause too many problems. Okay, Calpesh, you versus Steve. Good. All right. Okay. Yellow Dragon charges up. And charges up again, trying to maintain resource advantage, and discards a card into darkness, which is quite interesting. All right. Elf comes out, Light Elf, onto the center point of the field, and Whippy charges up twice, just trying to keep those resource numbers high. At this point, the game has lasted so long that it becomes a game of attrition. So both players being veteran players, both players knowing what they're doing, they will probably start... Well, I was going to say they'll probably start shifting their playstyle into a more defensive orientation, but it looks like Yellow Dragon has decided to go complete aggro, which is bold, given that Whippy does have enough mana for an AoE. Let's see if it pays off. Karl Shakar, though, always cool to see. Always cool. Alright, so he's thinking about it. Here's where a nice little, flame barrier or something would be so nice. He's thinking. I don't think he has an answer. The tempo of the game repeats itself. Yeah, both players really dancing around each other. I think the... okay, so the Vampire comes out, drains the Karl Shakar's HP. Alright. Expensive play, obviously, because it drops darkness down to 0, but equally, you gotta do something. So let's see. Now, the advantage a Whippy has here is the Yellow Dragon doesn't have enough mana, or enough resources for any kind of removal. So... unless it's Drag to Hell, and that has an equal chance of hurting himself. Hellhound comes out, okay. Damages the sword, which puts it within kill range. Kills Karl Shakar, and deals a little bit of damage to the new number 13. So that's pretty good. Alright, so Whippy's now got a solid board presence, and now Yellow Dragon is the one that's looking at this kind of going a little bit, Unfortunately for Whippy, number 13 is still out onto the field and can continue to summon those creatures, and it doesn't look like he has any way of answering it. No more AoEs, and we have to assume that if he had a Turn to Frog or a Mukro El Gesco, he would have used it by now. So, let's see. Noriel, can you fight too? Absolutely. I will just quickly write your name down. Noriel. Alright, so Whippy resurrects. Mana Hellhound, as Pegasus. Holy Missile comes out and deals with the... Okay, so it injures... Alright, so yeah, it injures the new number 13. So finally that number 13 is going to drop. The Flying Sword drops its attack value a little bit. Now... it gets a little bit... things are going to get very, very tricky here. Both players are basically going to have to kind of double down on their defense. Or they're not going to have to double down on their defense, sorry. They're going to have to slow the tempo of their fight. Yellow Dragon tried for an extremely aggressive push there in order to finish the game quickly, to take advantage of Whippy's low resources, but it didn't quite pay off. So if he tries it again and fails, then he's doomed. But if he sort of slows the tempo down, gets a little bit more defensive, then he's okay. So he's dropped the Black Spirit in order to just play something without brutal, very nicely played. Magic Missile to remove the creature in front of the vampire. Resurrected in order to force his opponent to resurrect as well, which damaged the HP, taking it down to 7, landing the finishing blow. Absolutely perfect play there. Very good. Wow, that was really close. Both players running very good decks, very solid decks, playing really well. Very nice. Very nice. Good game, Whippy and Yellow. Whew. Okay, good lord. Good game. All right. I don't want to talk to you, Scamcat. All right, so Neon apparently has to leave very soon, so Neon can fight Nonus. Kalpesh can fight Steve, unless you've already fought. Do let me know. But Kalpesh can fight Steve, and then Noriel can fight somebody. Who else wants to fight? Who else was talking about one? Oh yeah, role-playing catnip. How about okay, actually, if Nonus and role-playing catnip want to fight, then we can make Noriel versus Neon, and then Nonus versus Catnip, okay? We'll do it that way. So Noriel versus Neon now, and then Nonus versus Catnip. There we go, okay. All right, good job. Okay, so, yes, Neon versus Noriel, who's IGN. IGN is in-game name, by the way. Where's your thing? Noriel. There we go. Okay, Kanor Cubes versus Neon. Okay, and then we'll do the other 2 fights. We'll organize those in a bit. Friend request from Kanor Cubes. I will add you just now. So, yeah. Neon and Noriel add each other, and let me know when you're ready, and I will start spectating. Guest is so late. They're trying to make a dramatic entrance. You have to go now. Okay, Yellow Dragon, thanks for stopping by the stream. I appreciate it and getting involved in the fights. I'll see you later in the Discord. Satulia hasn't been around in 8 days, so I apologize if you actually are still around, but send me another friend request and I'll re-add you. As always, my rule is if somebody sends me a friend request during the live stream, I will automatically add you. If you send a friend request to me outside of the live stream, I may or may not. Okay, good. Okay, whew. So the current idea is Neon versus Noriel, and they're organizing that now, which is great. Then Kalpesh versus Steve, unless you guys have already fought again, do let me know. And then Nonus versus Role-Playing Catnip. I should start deleting like 4 or 5 friends before streams. I don't like to delete anybody unless there's somebody else lined up. But yeah, it's too few. Too few. I need more friend slots. Ugh. Okay, this next 3 fights, Neon versus Noriel, Kalpesh versus Steve, and Nonus versus Catnip, may need to be the last ones. We've been doing this for 2 hours and 35 minutes. So another 25 minutes will take us up to our 3-hour mark. So, yeah, if anybody else really wants to fight, let me know now. Otherwise, we'll just say that these next 3 fights are the last 3 fights. Kalpesh, you ready after Neon? Good. Okay. It's refreshing itself without me telling it to do anything. Okay. Kanor Cubes, or Noriel. Neon's still waiting for you to add him. Do you still get friend slots when your level is really high? Yes, you get more friend slots like every 2 or 3 levels, generally. Dr. Cocktail, no. Neon's supposed to be fighting Noriel or Kanor Cubes. If Noriel doesn't answer soon, we'll skip past that fight, and we'll do the next one, and then if Neon and Noriel are around, we'll fight after that. Looks like you guys are from the same country, actually, both from Bulgaria. Yeah, we'll give it another minute. If there's... Whoops, daisy. There goes my pen. Hello. Oh, Dr. Cocktail, you versus Neon. Well, give it another minute. If Noriel / Keynote Cubes hasn't actually responded, then we'll... You're fighting now, are you? All right, well, apparently you've skipped past it. Okay, well, Noriel, Keynote Cubes, if you're in the chat, do comment and let people know that you're still available for a fight. Okay, otherwise, we'll just quickly spectate this one. Panda Toon, otherwise known as Dr. Cocktail, versus Neon Works. Neon down at the bottom, and Dr. Cocktail up at the top. Dr. Cocktail using 2 mutants, I'm pretty sure, yeah, 2 mutants, and Neon using 2 mutants as well. Both using gold, mana, and nature as well. Both just keeping on charging up, circling each other. Looking for openings and opportunities. Neon discards into nature, so Ambush Vine or Hidden Spider is the best bet, although it could also equally be a Cocoon Trap, although at level 1 with no creatures available it's generally not, but it is, apparently. Cocoon Trap comes out and blocks off the Golden Bomb Squad. Turns out to be an even resource trade. And new number 13 comes out, dropping the Flying Sword in front of the Cocoon. Now, between the ability and the Flying Sword's damage, that will kill the Cocoon. So the Command Hunter comes out and deals with the number 13. That means that the Flying Sword will be unable to kill the Cocoon this turn, and we'll have to wait until next turn. Neon levels up to 2, and Pandatoon is going to have to do the same thing. Trap! And levels up, which means that Cocoon is going to die, but no big deal there. Flying Sword remains on the field, but it only has 4 damage. Albi comes out, which is always very interesting to see in PvP, given that it's predominantly a PvG card. Nevertheless, it is still strong. It does meet HP breakpoints, of course, and it's got an AoE effect if you can get that to activate. The Flying Sword does kill the Cocoon Trap, and now it is Pandatoon's turn. Got more than enough resources to deal a flame emission to the Albi if he decides to, although that would of course leave the Flying Sword untouched. Equally though, you can't really leave that Albi alone. 7 damage is pretty brutal. So new number 13 comes out on the just to the right hand side of the Flying Sword to protect against any potential flame emissions. But what to do about that Albi? It does need to be dealt with. Let's see. Cocoon of Evolution comes out. Alright, so a temporary measure against that Albi, but one that will hopefully pay off for Pandatoon. Flying Sword does its little whoop surge thing. It won't be able to kill Pandatoon's Flying Sword and will in turn be killed itself on Pandatoon's turn, unless Neon, of course, removes the enemy's Flying Sword. It's going to remove something, and it's going to be the number 13 with a Command Hunting. Still leaves that Flying Sword hanging around, ready to kill Neon's Flying Sword, but the Cocoon Trap is also hanging around there. Shield Throw! Alright, so Shield Throw goes off, and that does actually allow the Cocoon Trap to deal the finishing blow. The Cocoon now has 2 turns until it transforms back to normal. And Tsubaki Yayoi comes out onto the field, not in front of anybody, which is an interesting choice. Obviously doesn't want to be threatened. That random shield throw. It's not so random. Pegasus has had a couple of really good decks with shield throw in it, and I know that Neon was quite taken by the idea, and rightfully so. It's a fun card. It's a good card. If you happen to have a lot of cards in your deck that have defense, shield throw can be really brutal. It can deal like 50 plus damage. Alright, so Neon is sort of just consolidating his current resource lead. And puts a Golden Bomb Squad in front of Tsubaki, which is about right. And Pegasus is going, shield throw. Tsubaki kills the Flying Sword. And Flame Emission comes out, which is countered. Interesting. Counterspell. And a card, again, you just don't see that much. Mukro Algesco comes out. That is going to be unfortunate. Down goes that Golden Bomb Squad without its ability activating. And Tsubaki continues to charge up. Nevertheless, Albi has now been released. Shield Throw comes out and deals a significant amount of damage. That Albi has 21 hit points and is now way, way outside of removal range. Ouch, that is a lot of damage. 14. So Pandatoon levels up. Does he have an answer? Doesn't look like he does. I don't think anything in green can stop a 14 damage Albi. It's about to activate its... pretty sure it's about to activate its ability, isn't it? No, 3 turns, my bad. But yeah, there's not really a hell of a lot you can do about that. Okay, so a hunt onto the Golden Bomb Squad would leave Albi alive and would allow the finishing blow to come through, but it looks like Neon doesn't have a hunt because he's charging up, which goes into nature. Cocoon it again! Charges up again into gold, and charges up a third time, I assume. Yes, charges up again, and that goes into gold. Just really ensuring that he's got a resource lead now. So Albi is now within removal range. Noriel, you're up. You want to be up next. Well, you can't be up next, so it's Kalpesh versus Steve. But you can fight somebody after that. Macho, yeah. 28 attack and 42 HP if you cocoon it again. Yeah, that would be hilarious. Pandatoon charges up, acknowledges defeat in a sportsmanlike fashion, and you're pretty good. Very, very, very sportsmanlike. Good job, good job. So Neon charges up, charges up, charges up. I feel good. You're still in this. Charges up, and wow, gonna take a 14 attack Albi to the face. That is painful. Ouch, ouch. Oh, yes, Nonis, you are next. Don't worry. Oh no, you're not next. Sorry, no, you're not next. You're second. It's Kalpesh versus Steve, and then it's Nonis versus Catnip, and then George apparently up against Noriel. Okay, so George versus Noriel. Okay, there we go. So that was Neon versus Dr. Cocktail. Very good fight on both player sides. That Albi. Woo! Okay. Next up, Kalpesh versus Steve. That fight didn't last as long as I thought it... didn't last as long as it could have lasted, let's say. So we actually still have a bunch of time. So we can do Kalpesh versus Steve, Nonus versus Catnip, and George versus Noriel. Noriel, just make sure you are actually paying attention to the chat, okay? Because we want to keep this going quick. Maybe you should have Shield Throw in your decks now. Yeah, Albi's strong. Albi's cool. Albi's cool. Alright, next up is Kalpesh versus Steve. Ready, set, go. Guest just told you they won't be free for another 2 hours? Wow. Yeah, that is inconsiderate. Sucks to be them. Honestly, my advice would be wait for 2 hours. Wait until they are just about to be on their way and then call them up and say, oh, sorry, I can't make it after all. No, we can't meet up. Oh. What's good for the goose is good for the gander or something like that. Okay. 2 players are ready, so we should see them any second. Make Shield Throw great again. I know that nobody is using that Donald Trump card. Which is kind of a shame, really. Could have been hilarious. I really think I should have tied in with the barrier card. Okay, looks like they're phasing in. Let's wait until they parse through. There we go. Okay. So, Steve Rogers versus Kalpesh. It's not responsible behavior. I know. Why would you think I'm responsible? 3 mutants on Kengi's side, 1 mutant on Steve Rogers' side. Both players using gold, both players using light, and then Kengi using nature, and Steve Rogers using mana. So, Kengi discards immediately into the grave, which is, probably ambush vine or hidden spider, although as we've seen, it could also be a cocoon trap. But it is the swamp hidden spider, which plops out onto the field, which puts Steve Rogers into a bit of an awkward situation, because if he chooses to level up, and he basically has to, he's going to just keep taking damage from that swamp spider. So, he has to level up, but that basically means he takes 4 damage. Do I have catnip as a friend? I'm pretty sure I do. I must not encourage my viewers to do bad things. I encourage them to do all kinds of bad things. Okay, Steve Rogers discards light. Could be Interfectum. Could be. I always assume Interfectum when I see discard into light. And a discard into gold, I always assume summoning commission. So let's find out. Kengi levels up to 2, and there's a little bit more damage. I actually look like a responsible man. You take that back. Steve charges up and gains some light, which is nice, balancing out the resources, and charges up and gains some gold. Out comes the summoning commission, as predicted. Unfortunately, it's off an elf, so you get basically nothing from it. And the swamp hidden spider continues to just chip away. That must be unpleasant, having this little spider just sort of... Yeah, well. Alright, so that's 6 damage out onto the field. It's, it's not great for Steve, but it's not terrible either. Automata Turk comes out in front of the elf. Interesting, you generally don't use Automata Turk to block, because you do want him to stay alive as long as possible. You also generally put him all the way onto the right-hand side in case your opponent has a flame emission. You want it to hit nothing that he summoned. A betrayal, though, and that is going to sting a bit, because Turk is now going to charge up, and then the beginning of Kengi's turn is going to actually summon something for Kengi. Calling a gimmick deck. Doesn't look like... Neither one of them looks like gimmick decks. All right, Moth, see you. Hopefully everything works out with your guest. Golden Bomb Squad comes out in front of that elf. All right. And Steve Rogers is now ready to level up. Let's see if he does. He chooses not to and instead plays Ragnar. Interesting. Lorna is summoned and immediately interfectumed by the Interfectum Malus, which is... ouch, because he just immediately gets murdered. But, it wouldn't make any difference anyway. Command Hunting comes out and immediately deals with the Ragnar. And that's 6 damage onto the field. But now Automata Turk does, in fact, charge up its attack value and go back onto the other side of the field. It summons Symbol of Peace, which is unfortunate. Of all the things it could summon, it decides to summon Symbol of Peace, which is not hugely helpful for Steve. So let's see. Charges up, because again, there's no real reason to do anything else, unless you want to block that swamp hidden spider, but you have to do it with a creature, not with a spell, otherwise it's just going to come right back out onto the field. Automata Turk goes up to 6 HP. A Holy Missile comes out and is immediately countered. Interesting. Surprise attack, and that will kill the Turk. Down it goes, leaving just a Symbol of Peace and the Bomb Squad on the field. So Bomb Squad dies, kills the elf. And that doesn't leave Steve Rogers in a brilliant position. Mana is almost completely out. Light is almost completely out. Got a lot of gold, but unless he has some powerful gold creatures, that's not going to be very helpful. Why on earth would this be a Doom Machine Dragon deck? That would be weird. Anything's possible, but that would be a weird choice with Automata Turk. Revives from the grave, which does a little bit of damage to Kengi, thanks to L's ability. That swamp hidden spider just keeps on doing what it's doing. That little level 1 spider's just been sitting there the entire match. Ragnar comes right back out again. It's protected from surprise attack and hunt by its position, but if Kengi has flame emission, then... basically what I have to do is flame emission, revive in order to cause Steve's ability to hurt himself, and then the swamp spider will deal the finishing blow. Let's see. Discards into light, so he doesn't have flame emission. Which is interesting. Let's see. Discarded into light, obviously for some reason, decides to summon Eleventh, intriguing choice, and then the command hunting to go down. Okay, so better would have been Elephant, Command Hunting, Revive, and that would have won the match on this round, but never mind. Pigeon 0 attack unlucky. Yeah, it's very unlucky. Very unlucky. Okay, so Steve still can pull this back if he can deal with that elephant. He needs to actually kill the elephant, though. He can't block it. He's got to actually kill it because Kinky has too many resources. So if you block the elephant with anything, chances are good Kinky's just going to remove it. I mean, Kinky has Betrayal anyway, doesn't he? So chances are he's just simply going to betray the... yeah. No, it's not going to work. Chances are he's just going to betray either Sophocles or the Golden Bomb Squad out of the way now and win. Goes for a Holy Missile to lure out the counterspell. And uses Betrayal. There we go. And the not the Golden Bomb Squad, the Swamp Hidden Spider deals Fatal Kapow. Okay. Very nicely done. So an interesting deck on Steve Rogers' side with the Ragnar, with the Turk, with the Sophocles. Very, very cool. But unfortunately, those betrayals on Kingy's side. Those betrayals. Very powerful. Very well done. Okay. Nice. All right, so Nonus and Catnip are up next, and then it's George versus Noriel. Steve Rogers, very difficult deck. Yes, it was a very difficult deck. You did good. You did good. So yes, Nonus versus Catnip. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, everybody's kind of showing up as offline. Clutch Spider. Yeah. This spider just hung around forever. It did not want to go away. All right. Actually, yeah, I don't think I have Catnip. Okay, so I'm going to need to add either Catnip or Nonus. So when you guys are both ready, let me know and put your IGNs in there and I'll add somebody. Oh, there we go. We got a request from Nuke Chicken. Never mind then. Okay, I will just quickly remove whoever's at the bottom of the list, unless, again, I know them personally. You keep getting Magical Beast Apophis. Well, obviously, it's trying to tell you something. Do it. Okay, so Strawberry 7 hasn't been around in 4 days. If you're watching, I apologize. Send me another friend request, and I will re-add you. All right. Boop. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, good. All right, so I've got a Nuke Chicken on now. All right, so when you guys are ready, ready, set, goat. A fun off-screen slap fight. Yeah, I remember going up against those decks. Infinite slap. Oh, ow, 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 ow. My arm is hurting. I don't know why. Okay, here we go. Nuke Chicken versus Role-Playing Catnip. Or Shodu. Okay, so Nuke Chicken is Nonus, and Shodu is Role-Playing Catnip, for those who don't know. No mutants on Shodu's side, 2 mutants on Nuke Chicken's side, both of them using gold and mana, and Shodu using nature, and Nuke Chicken using dark. No, sorry, both of them use gold, sorry, and dark on the other side. Does Slap have a mutant? Yes, it does. Pretty sure it's light. Okay, so Shodu uses a potion of mana. Nuke Chicken drops an elf and a Mage Marie. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Alright. Alright. Let's see then. So, Marie, easy enough to remove, and Shodu certainly has the resources and the types for it, but decides to go for a capture. Wow, okay. Very, very bold. Very, very bold move. So, Nuke Chicken decides to let that go, charges up, Mage Marie does nothing, of course, both players are at level 2. Discards into nature, so could be Ambush Vine, could be anything. A capture. Okay, so they're capturing this Mage Marie back and forth. Both players really, really want this Mage Marie. You forgot you weren't Sarah. Okay. That's fine. I mean, your ability only works for you anyway, because your opponent doesn't have the thing. Okay, and then finally the hunt, which really should just have been done first. Eliza comes out, blocks the elf. It will move to the side and then charge up its own attack value, provided Nuke Chicken doesn't put a creature down to block it, which he doesn't. It decides to play a Mage Marie. Is that a -1? Yeah, a -1 Mage Marie. Interesting. Okay. A -1 Mage Marie. Dark Mutant. So a big Mage Marie deck. Very cool. Mage Marie versus Eliza. Marie is cute, says Pegasus. Yes, she is. She's adorable. I wish she was a better card. Anyway, but yes, she's adorable. And it's a capture duel. Yeah, both players just really want to capture the cute little Marie mage. Okay. And Nuke Chicken decides to charge up and just let Eliza build up her attack value. Okay. So Eliza jumps over to the left and jumps her attack value up. Technician Assistant Leaf comes out, which is very interesting. So there to help with Eliza's survivability, apparently. Marie being grabbed by mini vines. Yes, George. You can leave your favorite anime out of this, please. And out comes a character I don't think we've ever seen before on the stream. Scholar Borraccio. So, yeah, interesting choice. Out comes the Ice Spear, though, and immediately murders Borraccio's little Flametta. Drops the Eliza's attack value down, and Eliza's about to switch in front of Marie, which will drop her attack even further down. Still enough to kill the Marie, though. Shodu decides to revive, which is 5 damage on him, which is a little bit painful, but not too bad. He still maintains a slight HP lead. Both players doing about normal for resources. White Shark comes out, and that will both lower Eliza's attack value and then kill her, because Eliza's just going to jump over, drop her attack value. Not going to do anything to the White Shark, and then the White Shark's ability will murder her at the beginning of the next turn. So, let's see. Shodu discards a nature card. I assume we're not going to see another capture, but who knows. Discards another nature card and uses Hunt. Okay, so that's actually kind of brutal because that grave cost is going to really rack up, as well as the fact that, dropping cards into your grave obviously hurts you when you revive them. So that's a very, very sort of bold play, as it were. Hellhound comes out and murders that Eliza, which is unfortunate. So that was 2 cards discarded, which costs 2 actions. It increases each one's grave cost. It means you have to resurrect. It means it's going to hurt you. And after all of that, Hellhound just killed it. That's really unfortunate. It's really sad. Both players are a lot of. Who doesn't love Marie? I think everybody loves Marie. She's such a little cutie. Okay, so Nuke Chicken performs a charge and it passes over to Shodu's side. Shodu decides to revive from the grave and plays a Potion of Mana. Interesting. Okay. So the mana activates, leaving him with 1 gold, 1 nature, and 8 mana, bringing out another Eliza. Which is an interesting choice. That Hellhound is going to do 9 damage, which is going to take Eliza down to 5 HP, which puts her well within range of any single target removal. So all Nuke Chicken needs to do is hit her with like a magic missile or something, and the Hellhound will finish her off. She's too old for you, Shinkakra. Yeah, you got to be careful about that. This is going to be recorded. Yeah, the FBI is already tracking your location. Elf goes off, the Turn to Frog comes out, deals with that Eliza, and the Hellhound kills her with 2/3/2 resources in whatever, in the pool, I guess, is the word for it. Shodu is in a lot of trouble. Which Baba, I think you mean, George. There isn't a witch Boba. Boba Fett, maybe. Nobody wants to see him riding a broomstick. Automata Emily comes out to block the fatal damage that the Hellhound would apply. You like Lynn. You love Lynn more than Marie. Well, she's also nice. And there goes that capture again. Okay, which means that the Elf and the Hellhound are going to take Shodu down to 2 HP. Alvaro Bailon, thank you very much for the subscription. I appreciate it. And that puts Shodu in a very awkward situation. Not enough resources for any AoE spells. So, yeah, I don't see how he can pull this one back, unfortunately. But, you never know. I've been wrong before. He's thinking about it. Which means there's no obvious solution. So, Bandit, okay. I mean, the Emily has nothing there. Okay, well, and then the charge into nature, which actually gives some HP, but then, of course, the Emily moves, which shunts the Hellhound into that direction, and that's the end. So, Nuke Chicken charges up, very sportsman-like finish. When you know you're going to win, don't play any more cards, just charge. It's the nice thing to do. And the Hellhound lands a thing. You wanted gold! Playing catnip. Wouldn't have helped, unfortunately, with that Emily shoving the Hellhound out of the way. Oh, it's a shame. Very nicely played, though. Very nicely played. that poor, Emily actually killed you. You're more a Xena person, to be honest, are you, Luke Harcry? You like the librarian type, do you? Alright, so good decks on both play sides, good plays on both play sides. Very nicely done. So I don't want any of that. Thank you, Cat. And don't trade yet. And that was versus Catnip. Okay, final fight of the stream then. No, sorry, a person. We're doing sub-battles at the moment. So, George versus Noriel. So, Shinami versus Kanor Cubes. If you guys are both... Well, it looks like Kanor Cubes is actually gone. You don't see an exponent online? No, you don't. Looks like they're offline. I'm just going to quickly... You lost with Beastkin, then with Automata. Well, at least you're trying some interesting stuff, right? That's what it's all about. Entertaining battles. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You need to get some strong Masterclass dual decks. Strong Masterclass dual decks are basic. Oh, Kanor Cubes is back online. Good. Duel is a goat. The strong Masterclass dual decks are generally just gimmick decks. Masterclass Arena's a mess. Okay, so Shinami up at the top and Kanor Cubes down the bottom using the big fat ugly hero whose name I never remember, so I just call him Big Fat Ugly Guy. No mutants on either player's side, and 2 resources in Kanor Cube's camp, which is quite interesting. And Shinami opens with an Altar of Chaos, which is intriguing. Normally see that next to Cursed Doll decks, but in those cases you generally run Goblin Blin Blin for his extra damage effect, which can activate the Cursed Dolls. Cemetery blocks off the Altar of Chaos, or doesn't block off the Altar of Chaos, but sits behind the Altar of Chaos so that nobody can do anything about it. Hidden Trap comes out to counter the Cursed Doll, so fine. Both players using some weird stuff. I like it. The Altar of Chaos activates, hits the Cursed Doll. Cursed Doll activates. So it is a Cursed Doll deck. So it's interesting that Shinami is using Sarah Hero when Goblin Blin Blin is the usual go-to for it. But, well, let's see if it pays off for him. You want a rematch with Sarah on or off-stream, Roleplaying Catnip? Well, it'll have to be off-stream, I'm afraid. We're already 3 hours and 5 minutes into this, so... Oh, there he goes again. The Altar of Chaos smacks into the Cursed Doll deck. Oh, twice. Ouch. That's going to do a little bit of damage there. Spirit of Fire comes out. So, yeah, very solid Cursed Doll deck. More Altars of Chaos. Always interesting to see. I had somebody use a Cursed Doll deck against me when I was running my Warlords deck. It was the easiest fight I ever won. Trap, cries Pegasus. Yeah. Trap onto Doll. So the Altar of Chaos is going to keep smacking into that Cursed Doll, but I mean it's only ever doing 1 damage each time, so it's not really causing an awful lot of problems. I mean, even if all 4 of those Altar of Chaos strikes go into the Cursed Doll, that's still only 4 damage. You're at this point, you're still better off using actual creatures. But now the extra Cursed Doll comes out, a level 2 this time. Interesting, there's no light in Shinami's deck either. It means there's no Cursed Doll Painter in the deck, which is another staple for this kind of thing. Okay, Steve Rogers, thanks for stopping by the stream and getting involved in the fights. I appreciate it. Okay, Kanor continues to charge up, building up, building up, building up. It looks like Kanor is building up towards some kind of gimmick, which we hope not, because those are not allowed, but we'll see. Those little Cursed Dolls, look at them go. Oh, that kills that Cursed Doll. Dealing the final thing. Okay. And a little bit more damage. All right, and that Cemetery just continues to charge away. Shinami leveling up to 3 and charging up. A little bit of damage coming out there. No extra Cursed Doll placed. And there's the Ultimate Summon Grim Reaper. Are we going to see a Wind Clockwork? We are. Kanor Cubes is using the Clockwork Reaper, ladies and gentlemen. So on the one hand, that's not allowed. We say no gimmicks. On the other hand, it's the Clockwork Reaper. And I made a video about it. So, hey, Clockwork Reaper. Yep, there it goes. Come with me. No answer to the Clockwork Reaper, really. You need to have like an immediate capture or something like that. If you go up against somebody that doesn't have the resources for it, they immediately die. Rip. Okay, so... yeah, on the one hand, I'm quite pleased about that because, yay, Clockwork Reaper. You know, I made that whole video about it. But on the other hand... yeah, no gimmicks are allowed in the sub-battle decks because there's no point. Because gimmick decks can't be beaten unless you're running a counter gimmick deck, and there's no way of telling what the other person's going to run. George, do you need Painter in your deck? I wouldn't say you need necessarily Painter in your deck, but Painter can be really, really good in a Cursed Doll deck because it can transform stuff into it. What defines a gimmick deck, Role-Playing Catnip? I made a post about this on the subreddit in response to somebody asking that very question. I'll just quickly open it up. Okay, so there's no universal definition for a gimmick deck. There's no like dictionary definition for a gimmick deck. When you saw Darklight, you know it's a gimmick. Sometimes the dual decks aren't, but yeah, most of the time, yeah. But okay, so there's no dictionary definition of what makes a gimmick deck, and there is some gray area there, but generally the rule goes a deck is a gimmick if it has a single win condition, which is a single card or a sequence of cards which never changes and without which you cannot win. In this case, the cards are Ultimate Summon Grim Reaper and Wind Clockwork. You cannot win if those 2 cards get countered. It becomes impossible. Next, decks that are impossible to defeat without a dedicated counter. So again, for something like Clockwork Reaper, you need to have a capture or a betrayal. You need to have something specifically designed to take the Clockwork Reaper onto your side of the field. Decks that rely on pure luck and can win regardless of what your opponent does if the luck goes your way. That's very rare, but there are decks like that. And decks that don't rely on skill and play the same way every single game. And that's like Gates of Hell, Fiazzeni, or Parnok, that kind of thing. Decks that just do the same thing every single time. Okay, Kalpesh, thanks for stopping by the stream. I appreciate it. And it was a fun deck, George. It was very nice. Yeah. If you had more dark resources, you could have death sentenced that Reaper, yeah. It has soul stones though, so it will come back. You want to be in the next sub-battle, Alvaro? Well, we are finishing the stream now because it's already been 3 hours and 10 minutes, and judging by the viewer count, everybody's getting exhausted, and I know I am. My throat's going. But we'll have another Mabinogi Duel live stream on next week, next Sunday, 3 p.m. GMT, same time as this week. And all that kind of stuff. So, excellent. Just one deck. If a deck uses several combos. No, combo is not the same as gimmick. So, an example of... we're staying here until the stream completely ends. Okay, good stuff. Doesn't Soul Stones reset the turns, though? None. It does, but all the player has to do then is just immediately use Wind Clockwork again. And unless you can completely kill the Grim Reaper, and you'd need to use Death Sentence 13 times to do that. It's just going to sit there and it's just going to keep dealing damage anyway. So, yeah, so Witch, Xena, Shark, Ifrit isn't a gimmick. Nerva, Stone Curse, Petrify, Gold, Hanjo is a combo, but it's not a gimmick. I think I did some other stuff. I can't remember. I don't want to read the thing. But yeah, cards that combo well with each other or synergize well with each other, those aren't gimmicks. Euripides with Wanderer cards, for example, is a combo, but it's not a gimmick because it doesn't require dedicated counters. It's not a single win condition, all this kind of thing. It's like you can have Ultimate Grim Reaper in your deck, and it cannot be a gimmick deck, for example. Because Ultimate Grim Reaper, just by itself, has a number of counters. But a dedicated Ultimate Grim Reaper with like Wind Clockwork and so on and so forth, that's a gimmick, because that's your single soul solitary win condition. Let's say you combine a Zeras deck and a Trap/Wolf deck. Is it a gimmick? Archmage Zeras and Trap Wolf. No, it wouldn't be a gimmick because I don't even know how that would work, honestly. Why would you combine a Trap Wolf with a Zeras deck? 14 death sentences to kill the Reaper. Yeah, you need to do it 13 times and then kill him one final time. So yeah, you can't death sentence the Grim Reaper. You need to have a specific counter to him. Now, again, if it's just an Ultimate Grim Reaper in a normal deck and somebody just threw that in there, it's not a gimmick because you can have a number of ways of dealing with it. But if it's a dedicated one like the Clockwork Reaper, I mean, if you've seen my Clockwork Reaper video, you know that it's just a ridiculously simple deck to run. It's almost impossible to lose unless you're going up against somebody who knows it is coming and actually uses a counter gimmick deck. You just got it in for stream, Projection. We're just finishing up, though. Yeah. 6 cost or more, it's a gimmick, Pegasus. No. Zeros plus healer in would be better. I think it means I think you're talking about Genoa, George. Archmage Zeras doesn't drain. I'm just looking him up for his exact stats, but yeah, Archmage Zeras is the one that when it's the target of a spell, it cancels a spell, and after a certain number of turns, it makes all mana spells free. Celebrate your first pass on study exam. Nice, Projection. with a last fight. Really? Okay. Because you're an Arcanaut and because you passed on your study exam, you can do one fight. If you can find somebody to fight you very, very quickly, we'll do one more of you to fight. But only if you can find somebody to fight you very, very quickly. What's this message I have? Oh, Mealcon, thank you very much for the 5 gems. I very much appreciate it. Goes towards booster packs, which go towards videos, and we're going to need a lot of gems for a lot of booster packs because the CGC release is coming out in 2 days, probably. A person. Okay, yeah. All right, so Pojecheny versus A person. That was with a law with 1 question for exam. Meanwhile, you need to okay. All right, so A person versus Sausin 0 Pojecheny. You got to go, Lukaku. Okay. Thanks for stopping by the stream, getting involved. I appreciate it. Hopefully you can make it to the next one. Why is this not working? Okay, don't fight anybody yet because I think my phone just overheated and froze. Okay, nothing's working. All right, so nobody fight. Don't fight yet. Okay, there we go. Now we're back. Kind of. Are we? Not really. It's lagging really badly. Hold on. Okay, all right. I think we might be all right now. Okay, this is definitely going to have to be the last fight, though, because my phone is actually just going to die otherwise. So, when you guys are ready, Pojecheny and Alvaro. Ready, set, goat. And this will absolutely be the last fight. I don't care if one of these viewers has won the lottery. We're finishing after this one. I'm exhausted and my throat is killing me. Oh, and I'm out of arc juice. And I have to go and wash off my hand. PvP, let's go. No, Pegasus, that would actually cause my phone to just explode. Okay, there we go. I hope we can actually view this correctly. This is going really, really slow. I'm just going to see. I'm not even going to like watch my phone. I'm just going to blow on it. Why does no one use Clover? I don't know. He's decent. Happy to have the chance to see some good ideas for decks. Yes, well, that's why we do it. These sub-battles are here to show different deck styles, and play styles and all this kind of thing. Okay, so Book of Knowledge comes out immediately. A person levels up to 2, and I assume Salsin follows suit. Yes, he does. Good, good. All right, next up, we have the... what do we got? Belphegor Hero and the Skald Hero. I do like them. I like the art for both of them. I can't see the point in Belphegor. Has anybody ever managed to get her ability to activate, is the question. Out comes new number 13. Right into, right on the right-hand side, basically to protect against flame emissions and things like that. Okay, I think we're done blowing on the phone now. It's getting a bit weird. Out comes a surprise attack and takes care of the number 13. And unfortunately, well, doesn't take care of the number 13, weakens the number 13, and summons the hidden spider, which is a little bit unfortunate. However, if a person does have flame emission, now would be sort of a good time. Well, not now because you don't have resources, but next turn would be a good time to use it because you can wipe out that entire line. Beastkin Mino comes out, not dark and not +1, which is quite unusual. Ambush Vine comes out, so that's the Ambush Spider and the Ambush Vine. Is the cellular phone going to explode? Probably, yes. Number 13's ability activates, and damage is Dark Beastkin Mino. A bad start. It's an unfortunate start, but a person still leading... Well, not leading, but has kind of like more resources. Salsin is running a little bit low with 2, 2, and 5. Someday I will open up Patreon so you can help me buy a new phone when mine blows up. Yeah. It's not a bad idea. You get a lot of great ideas from Stream Kelpesh. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Okay, so Salsin charges up, just lets that whole thing go through. So that's a fair amount of damage. It's what, 11? No, it's 15 damage. Sorry, 15 damage goes through there, which is pretty brutal. Alchemist Goldhand, very interesting. All right, so that's not really going to activate until the beginning of next turn, though. So hopefully a person has something in mind for dealing with all of the nonsense on the opponent's side of the field. With that much mana, now would be a really good time for an Ice Spear or like a Firewall, a Flame Barrier or something like that, but he decides to charge, okay. Flying Sword's ability activates, goes into Beastkin Mino, so that guarantees that the Ambush Vine is going to kill him. Now, Salsin can sort of get very aggressive here and try to remove creatures in order to deal fatal, or you can just, you know, hold on, generate the resources, maintain control. Decides to go for an aggressive removal onto Beastkin Mino, drops the magic missile down onto it rather, freeing up the Ambush Vine. So that's 8 + 5, and out comes Zombie Synthesis, which really wasn't entirely necessary, but okay, there it goes. So that deals exactly the right amount of damage to finish off a person. Interesting decks on both players' sides. Very well played on both players' sides. Good job to everyone who is involved. And that is definitely the last of the battles. We're going to stop there. That has been almost 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. So, yeah, and again, my phone is just, I'm having to blow my fingers now. It's getting way too hot. Okay, so let's just see if I can open up the thing to see the last two messages I can. Two gifts from Alabaster. Thank you very much for the gems. I really do appreciate it. Saving them all up for when the CGC comes out. So I'll buy the pack, get all the cards, and we'll see what we can do in terms of videos and live streams with that. Okay, you need AoE cards, a person. Yes, always have at least one AoE in your deck. Okay, you had Turk Magic. Just think I would have liked to have seen Turk Magic. It's such a random card. Okay, so we will stop here now. The next official Mabinogi Duel livestream is Sunday, 3 p.m. GMT, so same day as today, same time as today, exactly the same as today in every way. However, if I am correct about CGC being released on the 28th or the 29th, because that's when the lab is over, if I'm correct about that, then we will have a special CGC livestream on that particular day. I will do my best to get my hands on all of the cards, and we'll just see what kind of fun and interesting decks we can create. Sub-battle rules for that day will be run a deck featuring at least one CGC card. So, keep an eye out for that. I will announce ahead of time on Facebook, Twitter, Discord, and possibly the subreddit. But if you want to be guaranteed of finding out about all of this stuff, jump into the Discord channel that I will be dropping into the chat now. Whoops. Well, my phone just died. So, good timing, phone. And we're back. Maybe we can put that back up. Hot phone, yes. When do I do live videos, Adrian? I have a guaranteed live stream every Sunday, which is Mabinogi Duel. I also live stream fairly randomly throughout the week, which I sometimes announce on Facebook and so on and so forth, but I will always announce on the Discord channel. So if anybody wants to find out about these sort of secret live streams and things, or if they want to talk to me about anything, Mabinogi Duel or otherwise, they want to play with me, again, Mabinogi Duel or otherwise, jump into the Discord. It's just for Arcanauts, and yeah, chat away. I'm always in there, always willing to talk and to play with people. I always draw a magic circle card. It's terrible. Okay, yeah, the phone is just... it's going weird. Okay. So yes, official next guaranteed stream is Sunday, but we'll almost certainly be doing a CGC release when that happens. So pay attention to the stuff and bleh. You know all this. Don't worry about it. Okay, so that's the end of the live stream. Thank you so much for everybody who came along, watched, and got involved, got into the fights. Hopefully, I'll see you guys next week. More sub-battles, and hopefully we will have the tournament that we've been talking about a little bit more nailed down so we can start releasing some details about that next week. Okay, so until then, have fun and good luck.